You are watching the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission input hearings on Pennsylvania American Water Company rate increase requests. Recorded by ECTV, Tuesday, January 30, 2024 at the Scranton Cultural Center, 420 North Washington Avenue. For more information, visit this website.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a public input hearing scheduled in connection with two pending rate filings of Pennsylvania American Water Company. My name is Christopher Pell, and I'm one of the administrative law judges that the Commission has assigned to hear this case, excuse me, and produce a recommendation for the Commission to consider. With me is Administrative Law Judge John Coogan, the other administrative law judge assigned by the Commission to this case. With us here are several representatives on behalf of the active parties. There's also a court reporter here who is taking down what is being said and will produce a written transcript of this hearing. I will briefly explain the nature of this proceeding and allow these representatives to briefly introduce themselves to you. Then we'll hear from you. As you know, the Pennsylvania American Water Company has filed two requests. First, Pennsylvania American, beg your pardon? No, that's my phone. First, Pennsylvania American is seeking a general rate increase for its water service by approximately $199.2 million or 24.2%. Second, Pennsylvania American's wastewater division is seeking a general rate increase for its wastewater service by approximately $4.7 million or 2.5%. The Commission suspended the effective date of the proposed rates until August 7, 2024, and directed that this investigation be undertaken. In general rate cases such as this one, the Commission is required by the Public Utility Code to ensure that the rates it approves are just and reasonable. There are many factors which are evaluated in determining whether the proposed rates are just and reasonable. Among them are the efficiency, effectiveness, and adequacy of the utility service, legitimate needs of the utility for revenue to provide both current levels of service and to improve future service, and the prevention of inequitable rate discrimination among customers or customer classes. Active parties in this investigation, in addition to the company, are the Commission's Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement, or I&E, the Office of Consumer Advocate, or OCA, the Office of Small Business Advocate, or OSBA, the Coalition for Affordable Utility Services and Energy Efficiency in Pennsylvania, or CAUSE-PA, the Commission on Economic Opportunity, or CEO, the Pennsylvania American Water Large Users Group, or PALUG, Cleveland Cliffs Steel, the Borough of St. Lawrence, Exeter Township, Robert Rawls, and Kyle Donahue. Some of these parties are here this afternoon and will have a chance to make some brief introductory remarks. So let me briefly outline what has happened in this case so far and what the schedule is for the future. A pre-hearing conference was held on January 3rd, 2024. The active parties worked out a schedule and we addressed various procedural issues. If the parties are unable to agree on a settlement, then hearings will be held telephonically on March 7th and 8th, 2024, so that active party witnesses who presented written testimony will testify under oath and be subject to cross-examination. These telephonic hearings are open to the public and you are welcome to listen in. Because hearings are sometimes canceled or changed, you should contact our legal assistant, Pamela McNeal, at 215-560-4228 the day before you plan to attend to ensure that the hearing will be held as scheduled. When the hearings have been completed, the parties will prepare and submit to us written briefs describing the facts as they see them and the law that they believe should be applied to those facts. Main briefs and responsive reply briefs are due on March 26, 2024 and April 5th, 2024 respectively, and our recommended decision will be issued in May 2024. Then the Commission will decide if our recommendation concerning the proposed rates should be adopted, rejected, or modified. A significant step in the hearing process is the public input hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to obtain the testimony of you, the people who will be directly affected by the proposed rates. Let's talk about how this will be conducted today. There are two ways you can testify. First, you may testify formally. This means that we will swear or affirm you in. The court reporter will record and transcribe your statement, and you will be subject to cross-examination by any of the active parties here. We may also ask you some questions. To the extent that your testimony is relevant, material, and competent, it may be considered by us and by the Commission. If you choose to testify, and we strongly urge you to do so, you'll be asked to state and spell your name, give your address. We will ask if you are employed and by whom, and if you are a customer. If you are appearing on behalf of a group or organization, please state that. Please do not be intimidated by the terms that I have used, such as testimony and cross-examination. We all recognize that you may not be lawyers, and we know that none of the parties here would try to embarrass you in any way. They may ask you questions about your testimony. You should not become upset by this questioning or feel that you are under personal attack. Such questioning is entirely normal for this type of legal proceeding. We ask simply that you listen to the questions asked of you and that you answer the questions to the best of your ability. If any questions are improper, we will let you know. The second method of participation is for you to make an off-the-record, unsworn, or unaffirmed statement. If you choose to do this, you will not be sworn in, and the court reporter will not record your remarks. We and the Commission, as a matter of law, cannot consider evidence which is not part of the official record in this case. If you choose to make an off-the-record statement, you will be asked to state your name and address, that you are a customer, and if you are representing a group or organization. You will not be subject to cross-examination. Now, we will assume that everyone who has signed up will make an on-the-record statement, so if you do not want to testify formally, please let me know when I call your name. If you do not wish to testify, you can always contact one of the active parties here, such as the company, I&E, or OCA, to express your concerns directly to them. For the benefit of the court reporter, please speak slowly and clearly and identify yourself when speaking. This public input hearing is your opportunity to present evidence regarding the proposed rate increases. If you have questions concerning the filings, we are sure that the company representatives will do their best to answer them briefly. We do want to remind everyone that this is an official legal proceeding. While we don't want you to feel intimidated or nervous about speaking publicly, please keep in mind that this is a serious and official hearing. Finally, we will not at this point anyway impose a time limit. However, we would ask each speaker to limit him or herself in order to ensure that we are able to get to everyone who signed up. If you agree with the prior speaker, just say so. There's no need to be repetitious. If we do impose a time limit, it will be strictly enforced. I do want to note that we do have a commissioner present with us today, Commissioner Zerfas. At this time, Commissioner Zerfas, would you like to make any opening remarks? Working on it. Yeah, you can do that. That's probably better. Where did I go?
Is it on?
It needs to be. Can we bring the volume up on the podium, Mike?
Hello? Does this work? Okay. I will speak loudly too, and I apologize to the folks behind me. I really didn't want to have my back to the audience, but if everyone can hear me, I would like to first address the audience. I see that it is a very filled room that shows great interest in today's hearings, public interest in today's hearings. It's time away that everyone is taking from their jobs, their families, volunteerism, and just life in general. So I want to thank you for being present here today. But my name is Katie Zerfas. I am one of the commissioners with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission, and I am joined by our Vice Chairman, Kimberly Barrow, who's over here. Kim? I wanted to introduce myself. I've only been at the commission a little over a year, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to do it. Originally, I am from around these parts. I am a NEPA girl, although I haven't grown up in Scranton. I grew up in Tamaqua and graduated from Tamaqua High School. So not to take away from the seriousness of today's hearing, I am looking forward to grabbing some good food while I'm in NEPA, because I can't get a good slice of pizza, a hoagie, or pierogi back in Harrisburg. So I will be eating my way on the way home at the end of today. I wanted to just state that my attendance here and the Vice Chair's attendance here is strictly to listen and to observe. We are to remain impartial during the proceedings, so we cannot take direct questions today or speak on the matter. But we wanted everyone to know that we will be listening very intently and will be reading the testimony and the transcript. I want to give many thanks to the ALJs for presiding over today's hearing and for all the work that they do. And again, thank everyone for coming. Our administrative process affords you every right to be heard on a matter that has potential impact to you. Your participation is critical in how the evidentiary record is developed, and a fully developed record is so important so we commissioners and our staff can review, consider, and weigh all aspects of a matter before we cast a vote at a public meeting. So your attendance here matters. And I had a really great boss who gave me really great advice, and he said that my ears will never get me in trouble. So I need to do more listening and less talking. So without further ado, I'll do just that and stop talking. And I look forward to all the comments of all parties today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Before we begin hearing from you, which is why we're all here, we will allow the party representatives to make a very brief statement. Starting with the company, Mr. Scary.
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, my name is Elizabeth Triscari, Elizabeth I am the corporate counsel for Pennsylvania American Water Company, and I'm going to represent the company today during the public input hearing. As Judge Pell indicated, the company filed a request to adjust its rates with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission on November 8th. When the company filed its rate case with the commission, we filed very extensive supporting data and information as required by the commission in its regulations and orders. The commission and all the parties to this case who you see at the table with me today, including the Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement, the Office of Consumer Advocate, the Office of Small Business Advocate, and other stakeholders have been poring over that information and supporting data, as well as additional information and questions that they have asked the company to provide to assess the company's rate request. At this point, I think we've received upwards of 700 data requests that we have responded to, over 1,000 including subparts. Since our last rate case, the company has made and continues to make substantial investments in new and replacement facilities in order to replace and rehabilitate infrastructure as it reaches the end of its useful life to continue to meet customers' demands for water and wastewater service, and also to comply with the evolving standards under the Safe Drinking Water Act, the Clean Water Act, the Clean Streams Law, and various regulations issued by agencies that administer those statutes. Since our last rate case, we've invested over $1 billion, billion with a B, in infrastructure upgrades, including replacing more than 160 miles of aging water and sewer pipelines and upgrading treatment facilities, storage tanks, wells, and pumping stations. The company has received recognition from the EPA through its Partnership for Safe Water for the quality and high standards of its water treatment plants. The company also developed and offers its home water conservation program to educate residential customers and promote ways for them to lower their water bills through a variety of conservation measures. Additionally, Pennsylvania American Water was the first water company to start a customer assistance program to help eligible low-income water customers who have short-term or longer-term difficulties paying their bills, and have since expanded the program to include wastewater customers. If you think you may be able to participate in either of those programs, please feel free to call our customer advocacy team at 717-550-1606. I also want to point out in the back of the room, we have 2 members of our customer advocacy team, Tawana and Jessica. You want to raise your hands? If you have any problems with your bill, think you could be eligible for these customer assistance programs, please speak with them and they can point you in the right direction. Pennsylvania American appreciates the opportunity the Commission is providing today through this and other public input hearings to hear directly from our customers. The company listens carefully to all the testimony provided in these hearings and uses the input of customers to enhance our operations and customer service. There are a number of people from Pennsylvania American who are here today to listen to what our customers have to say. We have our senior management, our VP of Operations is here, Jim Runzer, our VP of Engineering, Bruce Ayton is in the audience. We also have folks from our rates team, local operations, communications, external affairs. We're all here to listen and hear what you have to say. So I thank you for coming out. If you have any specific concerns having to do with your bill, with service or water quality issues, we make a promise to follow up with you within 48 hours from this hearing, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Moving on to the Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Podskach, P-O-D-S-K-O-C-H. I'm an attorney with the Public Utility Commission's Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement. Our office is tasked with representing the public interest in cases that affect utilities rates and services before the Commission. What that means is that we typically take positions in these cases that balance the interests of the utility, customers, and the regulated community as a whole. So in a rate case such as this, our team will review the company's filing. Our team consists of attorneys, engineers, and analysts, and we review the filing and we conduct discovery, and we try to come up with a position that we think is in the public's interest in these types of cases. So while we're doing that in the litigation process, these hearings are really our chance to hear from you, the public, to get your thoughts and concerns on the proposed rate increase. So I want to thank you all for being here, and I encourage you that if you do testify, to testify under oath. That way your comments will become part of the record and the parties can reference it when we make our recommendations before the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to OSBA, would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Hello, I'm attorney Rebecca Lytle. That's L-Y-T-T-L-E. I'm the attorney for the Small Business Advocate's Office. Just like the title suggests, we advocate on behalf of the small businesses throughout Pennsylvania when they have problems paying their water bills. I'm sure a lot of us know some small businesses in your area that are barely keeping afloat. And when there's increased rates for their utilities, they basically cannot pay them. So our office is a state agency, and we try to protect your rights. We have several experts that review the rate filings, but we need your testimony as well. Just as he previously stated, please testify under oath, because our experts will read this testimony. And I also want to thank you very much for coming out and giving your opinions to this rate filing.
Thank you. For the OCA, if you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name for the record, Melanie Elatia, M-E-L-A-N-I-E, Elatia, E-L space A-T-I-E-H. Okay, you can call me Mel. Thank you, consumers, for being here. I'm a senior attorney with the Office of Consumer Advocate, or the OCA. The OCA is not a part of the PUC. We are an independent office of the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office. The job of the OCA is to represent the interest of utility consumers in matters before the PUC, just like this one. We are fortunate today because the consumer advocate is with us. He's in the back of the room, standing there by the door. His name's Patrick Cicero. Patrick and I will be here after the conclusion of today's public input hearing. Should you have any questions or concerns that you would like to discuss with us about this case or about any utility matter. I am here because I'm part of a team of lawyers that filed a formal complaint against PA American's rate increase. We have a team of lawyers and experts that are looking into every aspect of the company's case. We plan to be an active party in every step of the way of the case, and we will advocate for the interests of consumers every step of the way. Our goal being to recommend to the judges and to the PUC that that PA American's rates be set as low as reasonably as possible. Now, let's turn to why you are here. The purpose, as the judges explained, the purpose of this public input hearing is to hear from you your opinions, your concerns about PA American's proposed rate increase. We would like to hear how it impacts you, your family, your household, your communities. If you are a consumer, I strongly encourage you to testify under oath, because when you testify under oath, it becomes a part of the evidentiary record, and then my office can then rely upon that testimony in our arguments to the PUC. After you testify, the parties here, unfortunately, it's very formal. You're going to be down there and we're up here, but we have the ability to ask you questions. So after you testify, I might ask you some friendly cross-examination as it relates to your testimony, to get your opinions or thoughts on parts of the company's proposal. And I assure you, there's no wrong answer. And if you don't know the answer to my question, you can just say, I don't know. Also in the room is another attorney with the OCA. His name is Chris Andrioli. He's over here to my right. He's waving. He also will be here with Patrick and myself after this is over. Thank you very much.
For CEO, would you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Joseph Vullo, V as in Victor, U-L-L-O. I'm here on behalf of the Commission on Economic Opportunity, or CEO. CEO is a community action agency headquartered in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and that provides a number of services and assistance to the elderly and low-income residents of Luzerne County. It also operates the Weinberg Northeast Regional Food Bank in the counties of Luzerne, Lackawanna, Wyoming, and Susquehanna. CEO gets involved in these cases for the most part to address programs that the utility offers to low-income customers. We want to ensure that if there is a rate increase, that any assistance provided to those low-income ratepayers is commensurate with the rate increase. We'll also address rate design that discourages conservation and makes it more difficult for ratepayers to save money through conservation, and we'll also address the overall rate increase. I want to thank everybody for being here today, including the commissioners, and especially the public. I know it's part of our jobs to be here, but it's not part of your jobs, and I appreciate the time that you're taking to let us know your views.
Thank you. And would the representative for Cause PA please state your name and spell it for the record?
Good afternoon. My name is John Sweet, John Sweet. I'm an attorney at the Pennsylvania Utility Law Project. In this proceeding, we represent the Coalition for Affordable Utility Services and Energy Efficiency in Pennsylvania, also known as Cause PA. Cause PA is an unincorporated association of low-income individuals that advocates on behalf of its members to ensure that consumers of limited income and economic means are able to connect to and maintain safe and affordable utility service in their homes. Cause PA is generally opposed to PAWC's proposed rate increase, especially at this moment as many are still struggling to recover from the unprecedented impact of the pandemic. In this proceeding, we're investigating the impact of the proposed rate increase on low-income households, the adequacy of PAWC's low-income assistance programs to ensure that all consumers can reasonably afford water and wastewater services to their home, and the reasonableness of PAWC's policies and terms and conditions for service to ensure that they are just, equitable, and do not have a disproportionate impact on certain consumer groups. We have retained an expert with over 30 years of experience in low-income utility programming and design who will submit detailed written testimony in this proceeding. I encourage you all to testify on the record in this proceeding so that your testimony may be considered in making a decision in this case. In providing your testimony, be sure to share what this rate increase would mean to you, your family, and to your community. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Donahue, if you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Representative Kyle Donahue, K-Y-L-E-D-O-N-A-H-U-E. Your Honors, I want to first thank you for coming to Scranton to give ratepayers the opportunity to express their concerns and to hear directly from them the hardship they will face if this proposed rate increase is approved. I chose to become an active party in this case to give our local state delegation a seat at the table in this process. As a state representative and a former city councilman, I consider myself to be well-versed in government bureaucracy and process, but as we have moved along in this process over the last few weeks and months, I can say with certainty that this process is confusing and convoluted, and it is set up in a way that benefits public utility monopolies and is a hindrance to the ratepayers that we represent. If it wasn't for the collaboration between our state senators, my fellow state representatives, mayors and councils of both Scranton, Dunmore, and surrounding communities, I fear our constituents would once again be left in the dark, just as we were left in the dark to a settlement that resulted in a 70% increase to our ratepayers just 1 year ago. And now PA American Water wants an additional 26 to 32% increase with a guaranteed 11% rate of return on investment. I just think that is ridiculous. This case is a test of what we value as a Commonwealth. Are we going to stand with ratepayers who can't continue to bear this burden for much longer, or are we going to stand on the side of public utility monopolies that place shareholder profit above else? Thank you for the opportunity, Your Honors.
Thank you. And for the city of Scranton, I believe we have the mayor present. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Thank you. Paige Cognetti, C-O-G-N-E-T-T-I, Mayor of the City of Scranton. I'm presenting today on the behalf of the City of Scranton to explain our rationale for joining these proceedings. I really appreciate you guys coming here locally so that you could hear from us and especially from the public here to hear their stories and to really be able to feel what it is like to be in northeastern Pennsylvania right now. We also really appreciate Representative Donahue and our partnership with our whole state delegation with Mayor Max Conway and the Borough of Dunmore. Scranton and Dunmore have a significant interest in this, not just because we're advocating on behalf of our residents and businesses, but also because we have a position that's a little bit different than that of the consumer advocate due to the sale of the Scranton Sewer Authority in 2016. We'll be submitting formal testimony, which will go into this in much further detail. But essentially, the PAW, the consumer advocate might have joined this kind of in the way that it would advocate for other municipalities and representatives, but the way that it's set up right now would put an undue burden on the Scranton and Dunmore residents. So we ask for a real look at this from the Scranton and Dunmore perspective, because it's not as simple as just shifting the burden from water to wastewater consumers. Broadly speaking, just to give you a picture of imagine what we'll hear from the public here in Scranton, here in northeastern Pennsylvania. We have an economy that is going really well in some ways, and at a household level, it can be struggling. We've seen rapid inflation over these few years. We've seen rents rise 2 and 3 times since the pandemic hit. Scranton's poverty level sits at about 20%, which is 7% higher than the U.S. average. Our median household income here is only $46,000. That's $23,000 less than the U.S. average. 1 in 4 families in Scranton is living on less than $25,000 a year. So when we're talking about a $216 increase annually in a water bill, that is really, really tough for our residents to handle. It's tough on our small businesses that are already dealing with rapid inflation and very, very tight margins. A lot of our small businesses have gotten through the pandemic. We thought we were there. Inflation has hit, and those businesses are struggling. So an increased water bill, especially for a manufacturing company that uses a lot of water, that could put that manufacturer out of business. So we wanted to be here to have you hear these stories, and we appreciate the public's interest. We understand that a utility is a business and does have costs that increase, but the rate of increase, the amount of this increase places an unfair burden on our residents and our businesses locally, and we respectfully ask the PUC to reduce the request of PAWC.
Thank you. I do believe we've heard from all the panel members, but is there anybody that I missed before I move on? Okay. I do want to note the presence of members of the media, and this portion of my opening statement is directed towards the media and anyone who may be recording portions of this public input hearing. Please do not be disruptive during the hearing. This is an official court proceeding, the main goal of which is to obtain testimony of those who may be affected by the proposed rate increase. Please respect the wishes of those testifying. If they do not wish to be filmed or recorded, we ask that you turn off your recording devices for the duration of that witness's testimony. Any interview must be conducted outside of the hearing room. To those who are here to offer testimony regarding the proposed rate increase, if you do not want your picture taken or statement recorded by the media, then please let us know when you come up to testify, and we will ask the media to refrain from recording your statement. Sometimes elected officials attend public input hearings to offer testimony on behalf of their constituents. Since these elected officials are very busy and offer testimony on behalf of a number of customers, we allow them to offer their testimony first so that they may then leave and attend to their many other responsibilities. It is our understanding that we have several elected officials here today who wish to offer some remarks. First being Senator Marty Flynn. Senator, do you wish to offer a sworn on the record statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, if you would raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Senator Marty Flynn, M-A-R-T-Y-F-L-Y-N-N.
Please state your address.
211 Hill Street, Dunmore, PA, 18512.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water Company or a wastewater company customer?
Yes.
Are you testifying today in your capacity as a state senator or as in your capacity as a customer?
Both.
Both, okay. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Since the purchase from PA American Water in 2017 for roughly $195 million from the city of Scranton, PA American Water has raised rates, wastewater rates, over 252% since 2017. Last year, a raise of 70.4% crippled my constituents of Dunmore and Scranton especially. This is a cumbersome burden on my constituency. People are paying their water bills barely getting by. It's not feasible. And everybody knows the corporate structure is profit, 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 profit. $132 stock share right now. The company's worth billions of dollars. The taxpayers of Scranton, Dunmore, the ratepayers here, are paying for all these infrastructure improvements. You're paying with these increases. This $200 million increase, they're making 10% on that, and you're paying for it. Where's the corporate investment? Where's the corporate investment in this infrastructure? PA American Water won't even take low-interest government loans, won't even apply for Penn loans, because it'll change their corporate, their profit structure, because they'll make less money. I'm sick and tired of seeing these increases over and over again. The old saying, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. It's time to slaughter the hog here. 70.4% last year? How is a family of four making a quarter of our population here is making in Scranton under $20,000 a year? How are they going to carry that? They're not. They're not. But PA American Water is going to say, oh, we have programs. We have programs that help pay for these people that don't make the money. Yeah, guess who puts the money in that pot? You do, the ratepayers, not the corporation. They don't put the money there. Your rates put the money there. So let's be real here. It's time to slaughter the hog. Historically, in the 80s and 90s, utility companies worked on very low profit margins. They promised their stock payers very little money, low percentage return in rates. PA American Water is promising 85%. They're giving bonuses. They're giving bonuses to their CEO if they get a 5% raise on the ratepayer. They get a bonus. Millions of dollars go to their CEO. But nobody's talking about that. All they're talking about is raising it on you, and they don't talk about that. Like we said, the appeal process here is very cumbersome. It's very hard to come up with a plan to find out until you open your bill, and all of a sudden it's doubled. Or last month, my constituents are calling me, they didn't get a bill. Then they got a double bill with the late charge on it. It's happening out all through Dunmore, all through Scranton. Couple that with dirty water at times. Then you get charged for the dirty water. And then you have to run the water for 6 hours so it's not dirty anymore and you get charged for that water.
Okay, I just need to hear from the senator. This will take a lot longer if we have the audience interrupting.
It's not fair. I just want to make a few points. When Scranton sold, PA American Water promised 1.9 increases, 1.9% over 10 years. We're at 252%. They should get zero. They should knock money off our rates, not ask for raises. So I just want to thank you for letting me testify here today and let my voice be heard. And I just want to point out one more time that it's up to you guys, the PUC, to be the watchdogs, because this is owned by a big bad corporation and you're the line of defense for the ratepayer. And we need you to stop this. Stop. Because my constituents cannot afford to pay this. Thank you.
Hold on one second. Let's see if anyone has questions for you, Senator. Any questions from the company?
Just ask me.
Senator, just wanted to say thank you for coming and sharing your concerns today. I know our folks have had an ongoing dialogue with you, and we will continue those conversations. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hold on. I'm working my way down the list. I have to go back to my list. Anyone for any questions from I&E?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you. OSBA?
Yes, Rebecca Lytle with OSBA. Senator, have you had any small businesses contact you about not being able to keep up with the...
Yes, their main issue, from what I've heard, is that they have to show up with a lawyer to make a complaint at this hearing, and I find that a little heavy in terms of being crystal clear on getting the ratepayer the ability to say something. Nothing in this whole process has really been easy. It's been very tedious, details with formal complaints, and that's just a common customer, let alone businesses to have to retain counsel to come in front of the board.
Thank you.
But they have complained, yes, so I could say yes.
Any other questions from OSBA?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. OCA?
No, thank you.
Thank you. CEO?
No, thank you.
Cause PA?
No questions, thank you.
Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
From the city of Scranton.
Yes, Your Honor. Jessica Askra, solicitor for the city of Scranton. Senator, can you explain a little bit further? You briefly mentioned in passing double billing and late fees. Can you provide the administrative law judges here and the members of the commission a little bit more detail on what you mean by that?
So, not only myself, my fiance, my water bill is in her name, but I do pay half of it. Last month's bill never came. This month's bill came double billed with a late fee on it for last month, so.
And Senator, is that specific to you, yourself, individually at your home, or have you heard of other instances
I've
that
heard of multiple
constituents?
instances affecting constituencies, yes. And some just paid it, not knowing, but after the fact kind of complained that, they just paid a late fee on a bill that was double because they didn't send the bill last month, so.
And are you aware of any refunds being issued in regard to that? Or is that something that?
Yes, if they called, I know they took off the late fee.
Okay.
Yeah, because.
Only if they called, Senator?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Representative Bridget Karowski. Do you wish to give a sworn statement?
I do.
Okay, if you would raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
I'll definitely spell my name. It's Bridget, B-R-I-D-G-E-T, and Karowski, K-O-S-I-E-R-O-W-S-K-I.
Please state your address.
6 Starlight Drive, Waverly Township, PA.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water Company customer or wastewater company
I am.
customer? Are you testifying in your capacity as a customer or as a representative?
Both.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
So good afternoon, and thank you very much for being here with us today, giving me an opportunity to provide comments. I'm State Representative Bridget Malloy Karowski, and I'm speaking to you on behalf of the 62,000 people I represent here in Lackawanna County, more specifically those living in Scranton, Clark's Green, Clark Summit, Dixon City, the Township of Benton, Greenfield, North Abington, Scott, Waverly, and South Abington. And simply put here today, I'm here today to say that this American water hike is just too much for my constituents to handle. Given the fact that Pennsylvania American Water Company is the largest regulated water and wastewater service provider in Pennsylvania, it is vitally important that the company bear a larger share of the cost to improve their utility systems rather than bore it on the backs of struggling parents and grandparents here living paycheck to paycheck. And as we were told by the mayor here, our cost of our average income in Scranton, people struggle. And the shareholder profits should not come ahead of ratepayers, and they are entrusted to serve. It's also important for you to take into consideration that the Pennsylvania American Water Company raised rates by 70% for Scranton residents in early 2022. And how often are you going to come back and do this to our customers and ask them to pay more? I don't believe that our seniors here living on fixed incomes have to think about how much water they're using. Should I shower? Should I wash my dishes? It's a lot for them to consider, and it stresses them out, and it's something that we can do better for them. And certainly, I'm glad you're here to listen. And while you consider the impact of this latest rate hike, and in fact, every time you complete such a proposal, I hope you will keep in mind not just the numbers, but rather than those people who are affected by your decision. And I understand that you have 12 hearings to allow for the public input on this matter, but please don't underestimate those people that are being affected by this, and people that are working and have kids. And I have lots of resources, lots of staff, and lots of help, and lots of people to explain this to me, because it is super confusing. And if it's confusing for me and I still have people trying to help me out, I can't imagine people at home opening these bills thinking it's too much, but I don't know what to do about it. And so I'm really here as their voice, and that's important. So I encourage you to reject this rate hike request sought by the Pennsylvania American Water Company, and I hope you really do, when you make these decisions, you really do think about the people that are opening those bills at their home, and it's just too much. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's see if any of the panel has questions for you. Any questions from the company?
Sure. Thanks, Representative. Appreciate you coming and sharing your concerns with us today. Just wanted to mention, I think we have had a dialogue with you. We will continue that. And as far as, any kind of education we can help, whether it's you in your office or your constituents, we're here. We're happy to help, provide more explanations of bills, any concerns. Please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you.
Any questions from I&E?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any questions from OSBA?
Yes, Your Honor. Rebecca Lytle from OSBA. Thank you for testifying today. And have you heard any complaints from any small businesses in your area that the rate hikes, how it could really affect their bottom line?
Yeah, it's certainly challenging. I mean, certainly the small business owners after COVID, getting back on their feet alone has been a challenge, and to have to navigate this. And then I did learn today that when they do have to come and testify or have concerns, they do have to hire an attorney to represent them, which is another challenge and cost. So yes, that has come to my attention.
Any other questions from OSBA?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. OCA?
No, thank you.
Thank you. CEO? Thank you. Cause PA?
No questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. City of Scranton?
None, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Representative James L. Hadock? Excuse me. Hi, do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
James Hadock, James Haddock.
Please state your address for the record.
855 Suskin Road, Suscon, Pittston Township, Pennsylvania, Luzerne County.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
I am a water company.
Are you testifying your capacity as a representative or as a customer?
Both, Your Honor.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
Well, first, I would like to thank the judges for their consideration in this matter today, and I would like to thank our PUC Commission for allowing public input. This is not necessarily has to happen every time, so our commissioners made sure that there's public input and public hearings throughout the state of Pennsylvania. We thank them for that opportunity to be heard, so thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon. As a state representative in the 118th District, I am one of 20% of state legislature members that cover 2 counties, Luzerne and Lackawanna. I have 63,000 residents and individuals that I represent. I am respectfully asking the judges to refuse this rate increase in total down to 0. This whopping increase of 25 to 32% on the water, we'll stay on the water because this is confusing, and I do want to clarify. The water is going up 25 to 32% this year. Last April, the water just went up 14%. That's a total of 46% in 2 years. In the industry, it's called pancaking. It's highly frowned upon. And from the ratepayers, it's definitely frowned upon. 2 rate increases of double digits in 2 years is just unconscionable. I and my office have fielded close to 200 phone calls from constituents worrying about the water, that they cannot afford it. People of Pennsylvania, like all Americans, are experiencing the post-COVID inflation. Companies and politicians around the country and around this great state are fighting to bring down the inflation, and we're just getting it under control. things have been stabilized, like interest rates, energy costs, gas, and food. The wages in Pennsylvania have gone slightly higher with modest increases. So where does another 32% increase come into play on top of 14%? This will cause people to make decisions. Do they go out to dinner with their family? Do they buy a present for their mother? Or do they pay their water bill? Or do they pay their mortgage? Because that may not happen if this continues. This 32% rate increase is out of line with the economic picture of Pennsylvania and is just unjustified. It's a burden to our people, the businesses and the industry of Pennsylvania. The second rate increase is the sewer. We've heard testimony about Dunmore and Scranton. And I have a very small piece of the Scranton sewer system, which is now run by Pennsylvania American Water. And it's in Music, Pennsylvania. And ironically, it's the most affluent section of my district. About 140 homes, about 400 constituents. And not only is the Montage Mountain one of the most affluent, but they're the best educated in my district per capita. I've had doctors, lawyers, professors call me, along with just retired people that were able to get a condo. And with this sewer increase, because they were, I don't know how it happened, but because that section of Music was under the old sewer system, and most of Music goes to a different sewer system, treatment facility, these people's bill did not go up 70%. It went up 400%. I have received bills. These people are able to keep their records. Bi-monthly bills 2 years ago were $60. Today, that same retired lady in a condo is getting a bill for $240 bi-monthly. How can they afford another 2.5% on top of this? So we have in northeastern Pennsylvania an even more unique situation because of the buyout and in the catch-up of what PA American Water did to our sewer ratepayers. And unfortunately for the PUC and judges that get assigned to hearings like this, it's the way of the future. Pennsylvania American Water is continuing to buy more sewer companies out. This problem is happening more and more throughout the state of Pennsylvania. It's got to stop. We got to straighten it out. The first way would be to go with a 0 rate increase, and then we will go to work in the legislature to straighten that other problem out. But I thank the judges for their time in this hearing, and I thank you for your attention in this matter.
Thank you. Any questions from the company?
Just want to take the opportunity to thank you, Representative, for coming and expressing your concerns on behalf of your constituents. As I've mentioned before, if you have constituents who are payment troubled, are looking for possible assistance, please send them our way.
Most certainly will.
Any questions from I&E?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from OSBA?
Yes, Your Honor. Rebecca Lytle with OSBA. Have you heard any complaints, Representative, to your office from small businesses in your area concerning all the rate increases for water and wastewater?
Absolutely, and your key is small businesses. So from restaurants and mini markets, they have talked about the impact here. But I also have a hydration plant, and I actually asked them if they would go on record. And in the company, they were just not willing, but they did come to me and talk. And they said these rate increases, because they were staggered at 32%, fell into their category. So they said, Jim, guess what? We have Representative Hadock. Guess what we have to do? Our water goes up 32%. That's not it's one of our biggest costs. And they said, guess what we do? People feel it in Pennsylvania because we raise our price. I can tell you that your question is just small businesses, but I have one of the manufacturing plants, one of the largest soft drink companies in the state of in the country, heard the same story. But because of their corporate structure, they don't want to testify. But the same comment as the small hydration plant was that our water goes up. That's one of our biggest ingredients. Our prices go up. We have to make it up so the consumers feel it.
Thank you very much for your testimony. And if you are here or anyone else needs a business card for the Small Business Advocate's Office, I'll make sure you get one.
I will eagerly take you up on that. Thank you.
No further questions.
Thank you. OCA?
No, thank you.
Thank you. CEO?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Cause PA?
No questions, thank you.
Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
City of Scranton?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Representative Kyle Mullins?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Do you wish to give a sworn statement?
I do.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Kyle, K-Y-L-E, Mullins, M-U-L-L-I-N-S.
Please state your address.
105 Woodland Drive, Peckville, Pennsylvania, 18452.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
American Water customer.
Are you testifying in your capacity as a representative or as a customer or both?
Yeah, both.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
All right. Thank you for having me and for allowing for this, this public input, as it's vitally important. So, as I mentioned and swore, I am here as a American Water customer who's trying to express the value to my 3- and 7-year-old of turning off the water while they brush their teeth, that the bathtub does not need to be the depth of the swimming pool, but also as the voice of people I represent. From the southernmost municipality in my district of Dunmore, that is within the both water and wastewater footprint associated with the Scranton sewer sale, up through the balance of my district to Carbondale and the surrounding municipalities. I think we've so far heard a theme here, and I imagine it will continue to play out, that this massive request is just one step too far, as ratepayers are still adjusting to a very recent and significant rate increase effective in 2022. So we use a lot of numbers and figures and terms through this process. We call them customers and ratepayers. But we must remember that there are elderly neighbors and fixed incomes and water heaters that break and medications that need to be paid for and young families with debt and tight budgets. And there are small businesses that encounter all of the above. So, of course, upgrades to the infrastructure that we depend on that goes most of the time unnoticed beneath our sidewalks and streets are critical and they're costly. And that is no small task that PA American Water and other companies have to undertake. And I think as we saw over the last rate increase, people are reasonable. Ratepayers understand that. They understand that when they send their bill in every month, and they clearly understood it through the last rate increase, because I don't remember being before one of these investigations, before one of these panels. But I believe this back-to-back impact is clearly a step too far, as evidenced by the show of concern and attentiveness here today. I do appreciate American Water's interest in calling attention to their customer assistance programs, and that must continue with double the intention and double the effectiveness. But to those who will be hearing this rate increase, I would just encourage you, as you investigate and adjudicate it, to remember all of those who would be impacted, who I mentioned. They aren't just ratepayers, they are our neighbors. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions from the company? Thank you. Any questions from the company?
Again, just thank you, Representative, for coming out. We look forward to continuing this dialogue with you on behalf of your constituents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from I&E?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Any questions from OSBA?
Yes, Your Honor. Rebecca Lytle from OSBA. Thank you for coming out and testifying. You mentioned during your testimony about small businesses being affected by these rate increases. Do you have any examples of people that have contacted your office concerning this rate increase?
Sure. One business in particular who asked not to share called not long after, and I've known them. I've understood their service to the community for a long time. Just expressing they are not a common. I've never heard them really complain about anything. But again, in keeping with the theme I mentioned, this seemed to be just one weight too far, as it would impact their ability to make ends meet and still maintain their footprint as a cornerstone of our community.
Representative, were you aware that PAWC doesn't have a defined payment assistance program for small businesses?
I was not.
Were you aware that there's no set program to help small businesses that are unable to afford their utility bill?
I was not.
No further questions.
Thank you. OCA?
No, thank you.
CEO?
No, thank you.
Cause PA?
No questions, thank you, Your Honor.
Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
City of Scranton?
None, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Representative Maureen Madden? Hi. Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
I do, yes.
If you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Maureen, M-A-U-R-E-E-N, Madden, M-A-D-D-E-N.
Please state your address.
7404 Ventnor Drive, Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania, 18466.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Both, yes.
Are you testifying in your capacity as a representative, as a customer, or both?
Both.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
Thank you. Thank you for having this hearing. As most of my constituents are out working today to pay for their American water bill, I am certainly grateful for this opportunity to speak on their behalf. I'd like to thank my colleagues who provided so much great background information about the exorbitant increases that American Water has gotten over the number of years. And certainly they have set the stage for how just really unnecessary and what a terrible effect it will have on all of our constituents to have to pay yet another rate increase. I testified by phone the last time there was a hearing for a rate increase to no avail, and that was in the middle of COVID when people were struggling and they were losing their jobs. So here I am now in person, and there are a few things are coming to mind while I'm listening to the responses and I'm listening to people testify. I keep hearing from Pennsylvania American Water over and over again how there are these programs to help people who don't make enough money and need help paying their bills. Well, 2/3 of my district in Monroe County, the 115th legislative district, are serviced by American Water, and the median income in Monroe County is $33,000. So I have to wonder, what is the income level and how many of the thousands of people in Monroe County are you assisting with water? Because based on the calls that I'm getting and the complaints I'm getting and the absolute despair of people who cannot pay their water bill, I'm imagining you're not servicing a big enough pool of people who would qualify. I am an American Water customer. I've lived in my district for roughly 20 years. When I first moved, my water bill was anywhere between $68 and $73. Now, this last bill was $233. That's $100 more than my electric bill. And unfortunately, like my friend and colleague Marty Flynn, it's not a double bill. That is my bill for 1 month, $233. Put that on top of a $400 to $600 electric bill in the wintertime, and all the other responsibilities that my constituents have with a median income of $33,000. And quite frankly, I would like to hear some answers. How are they going to keep the water running? I implore you to really listen to the testimony that's being given here today, because beyond the statistics, we're talking about real people who are struggling every single day to make ends meet, and their income is not growing as quickly as the rate of inflation. So you have the power in your hands. We know Pennsylvania American Water is not struggling. We know their stockholders are not struggling. And we need to get to a place in this Commonwealth and in this society where we care more about our customers than we care about our stockholders. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Any questions from the company?
Thank you, Representative, for coming today. You had one specific question I wanted to answer for you. You asked about who was eligible for these programs. So for our bill discount program, we do have a 3-tiered eligibility program based on the percentage of federal poverty level. That's up to 150% of federal poverty level. We have proposed in this rate case to increase that to 200% of the federal poverty level, recognizing that there are a larger body of people that can benefit from these programs. So that is something we have proposed. Definitely concerned about affordability. That was we did an analysis study for this case. It's part of our filing. That's the bill discount program. There's also a hardship grant program where customers can get up to $500 on their bill. That is already up to 200% of the federal poverty level. But happy to continue this conversation with you. Talk more about. We do targeted outreach to vulnerable populations. If there's constituents in your area, we're happy to come do outreach. Come to a fair, and we're always happy to do that targeted outreach.
Thank you.
Any questions from INE?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Any questions from OSBA?
Yes, Your Honor. Rebecca Lytle from OSBA. Has your office received any complaints or worries from small businesses in your area concerning these high rates?
So yeah, I was texting back and forth with my staff as you all were asking questions, and my staff knows of one, a daycare center that is really struggling with their water bill right now.
And were they asking for help or solutions?
Yes, they were asking for help.
I do want to mention, if you would please forward any complaints like that from small businesses to our office, I'd appreciate it. Another question I have for you, Representative, is it a concern of your office that some of these small businesses may have to close if rates just get too high for them to pay?
Sure, of course.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. Any questions from OCA?
No. No, thank you.
CEO? Cause PA?
No questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
City of Scranton? Thank you very much for your testimony. Max Conway, Mayor of Dunmore Borough.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes.
If you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yeah, my name is Max Conway. I'm the mayor of Dunmore. That's MAXCONWAY.
Please state your address.
1505 Adams Avenue, Dunmore, PA 18509.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes.
Are you testifying in your capacity as a customer, as mayor, or both?
Both.
Okay, what do you want to tell us?
Okay. Good morning. I want to thank you for the opportunity to address you today. My name is Max Conway, and I serve as the mayor of Dunmore, a borough deeply impacted by the proposed water increases by Pennsylvania American Water. I'm pleased to join in with our neighbors in Scranton and our local officials to share our concerns on this matter. I stand before you not just as a representative of Dunmore, but as a voice for the hardworking residents and businesses who will bear the burden of these rate hikes. Our concerns are shared by many across Dunmore and Scranton, and I urge you to consider the following reasons we collectively challenge these proposed increases. Number one is the economic hardship these rates will bring. Our residents have faced economic challenges like many have over the last few years. Many families are struggling to make ends meet, and an increase of 25 to 32% in rates will undoubtedly worsen their financial burdens. These increases are on top of the monstrous increases Dunmoreans saw just recently on their sewer bill under the rate hike settlement approved by the PUC. Number two is the impact on these Dunmore businesses. Small businesses are the backbone of Dunmore, and they're going to be hit hard by these rate hikes. They're already grappling with rising operational costs in the aftermath of record high inflation. A substantial increase in utility costs will threaten the survival of many of these businesses and lead to job losses in Dunmore Borough and in Scranton. Number three is the lack of clearness on these proposed increases. The community deserves clear and transparent communication regarding the need for such significant rate hikes. It is essential for the Pennsylvania American Water Company to provide a detailed breakdown of the factors justifying these increases, ensuring accountability and building trust within the communities that they serve. In addition, it is important to note that upon the sale of the sewer authority to PA American Water in 2016, PA American Water agreed to minimal increases over a 10-year period, 1.9 to be exact. To be clear, they have not held up their end of the bargain, and it is an absolute joke. At that time in 2016, the average water customer was paying $37 per bill. PA Water projected that by 2046, the average bill would be $116. If this is approved, we will already be at $88. We are well ahead of schedule. Lastly, and honestly most important, is the consideration of all this affordability. Water is a basic necessity, and access to it should not become a luxury. We urge the Commission to carefully consider the affordability of water and sewer services for all residents. No one should be forced to choose between paying for water and paying their mortgage or their groceries. I recently put out to Dunmore residents what this increase would do to them, their families, or their businesses. I received several emails, but two of them struck me specifically. Mike H., who cares for his elderly mother, who is a lifelong Dunmore resident, said, plainly stated, "My mother is being pushed from her home by these proposed increases in utility rates. My mother and father worked hard all their lives to ensure they could enjoy their home well into retirement. When my father passed in 2017, I stepped in to manage my mother's expenses. Since then, I have watched her slowly pushed from her home by these private utility companies recklessly increasing their fees. Why not downsize, someone may ask. She will, but she should not have to yet. Her debt is paid. Her house is paid for. The fees for services such as water supply required to have in a home continue to increase at a laughable rate. And then from Casey, an 8-year resident of the borough, I urge everyone to think long and hard about what this rate increase will mean for members of our community and if it's really worth it. Additionally, I urge you to consider where this ends. Will it soon be normal to pay over $500 a month for water in Dunmore for 2 people? At what point should we switch to filling our toilets with bottled water to save money? Perhaps if this is a community, we buy Evian in bulk. We can fill up a water tower with it and attract new residents with the promise of a truly decadent showering experience. Maybe they can take over their homes and businesses vacated by the rest of us who've been forced out by these rising costs. Honestly, have some compassion and common sense. This is ridiculous. In closing, I urge the Commission to carefully weigh the impact of these rate increases on Scranton and Dunmore specifically. Together, let's work towards a solution that ensures the availability of essential services without placing an undue burden on the very people that we are here to serve. I thank you for your time and consideration, and I trust that you will make decisions that prioritize the well-being of Dunmore and Scranton citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the company?
Thank you, Mayor, for coming today and expressing your concerns. There's something I wanted to follow up on because I feel like it's come up a few times, and that's that 1.9% CAGR that came out of the Scranton sale. Are you aware that Pennsylvania American does not actually set rates, that the Public Utility Commission does?
But who asked for those increases?
Maybe, you know it's the Public Utility Commission, correct?
I'm unsure.
Okay. It is the Public Utility Commission that sets rates. Pennsylvania American, in our rate case filings, does make requests. We propose rate increases. And we have met our obligation under that agreement with what we've proposed. What has happened in these cases... I thought we were supposed to answer questions that were posed, if we could.
What was the specific question you're answering?
About the increase, filing the Scranton sewer sale.
Yeah, let's just limit it to questions. I think you're moving into testimony, so I think you just ask, if you have a question, ask the question. Sustained.
Okay, so are you aware that Pennsylvania American's proposals have been consistent with that agreement?
Not quite, because again, I'm just going off an article I found from 2016 that states that by 2046, our average bill should be $116.
Okay. Are you aware that it has been other interveners in Pennsylvania American's rate cases?
Can you describe the interveners? This is where I think Kyle Donahue said that this all gets a little convoluted.
Yeah, these would be the other parties that are up here with me today.
Okay.
Are you aware that it has been other parties to Pennsylvania American rate cases that have actually testified and requested that Scranton rates be higher, steeper than what Pennsylvania American has proposed?
I'm unaware.
Okay. All right. Nothing else.
Any questions from I&E?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
OSBA?
Yes, Your Honor. Rebecca Lytle, OSBA. Mayor, thank you for testifying. And have you noticed any of the small businesses within your area that are struggling, especially because of these rate increases?
Yes, I also work closely with the Dunmore Business Association, which is newly formed, and if you ever wanted to get in touch with anybody there, I'm sure they'd be happy to speak with you.
Thank you. Is it ever a worry for you that some of these businesses may have to close if rates continue to rise?
Absolutely. I think that.
And would you like to see the company establish a payment assistance program specifically also for small businesses to help them if they have a need?
Sure.
Thank you. No further questions.
OCA?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Just as a follow-up to the question that PA American asked you about other interveners asking for rate increases, are you aware that when you pay your water bill, that water rate is, to cover the company's costs to provide you water service?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. And when you pay your wastewater bill, it's there to cover the cost of providing, collecting the sewage and treating the sewage?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that as a PA American water customer, you are currently paying in your water rates for portions of someone else's wastewater service?
I'm unaware, but
What do you think about that?
it doesn't sound fair to me.
Okay, and do you know that when PA American made rate promises to Scranton to keep rates at a limit, while it did that, it shifted its wastewater costs and recovered them in water rates from water customers?
I think we're running into testifying now.
I'm asking if he's aware. I'm not testifying. I'm asking a question, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think you're going a little too far into testimony, so.
It is a question.
Yes.
Can you repeat the end of it, quick?
Yes. Are you aware that in terms of that rate limit, it shifted the
I'm
costs?
sorry, I have to object again. We're doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the, excuse me, outside the scope of his testimony, so if you have any other questions.
Your Honor, it's within the
I'm
scope of
sustaining the
her
objection.
question.
I'm sustaining the objection.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
No, thank you.
CEO. Cause PA. Representative Donahue?
Yes, I have one.
Are you aware that although PA American Water did not request a rate increase for the sewer bill last year, that they still agreed to a settlement that would result in a 70% increase?
Yes.
Was the Borough of Dunmore informed at all that that settlement was coming down and giving a place to express their concerns there?
I saw it in the paper.
After the fact, correct?
After the fact, yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Representative, any other questions?
No, thank you.
City of Scranton.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mayor. So you referenced earlier the sale of the Scranton Sewer Authority to Pennsylvania American Water. You're familiar with that transaction, correct?
Correct.
And that placed a limit on the wastewater rates that could be imposed, correct?
Correct.
Over a 10-year period,
Correct.
What's before you today is a water increase, correct?
Correct.
If any of that water proposed increase were transferred to wastewater, would that disproportionately impact both your residents and the residents of Scranton?
Yes.
In what way? Can you elaborate?
It just, that doesn't sound fair to me how that should function.
Okay. Yep. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Christopher Bayonne, Borough Manager of Blakely. Is that him? Okay. Good afternoon. Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Christopher Paone, C-H-R-I-S-T-O-P-H-E-R, last name Paone, P-A-O-N-E.
Please state your address.
1014 Pleasant Avenue, Peckville, Pennsylvania, 18452.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water Company or wastewater company customer?
Water company.
And are you testifying in your capacity as a customer, as the borough manager, or both?
Both.
Okay, what do you want to tell us?
Well, first I'd like to thank the panel and Senator Flynn, representatives, Mayor Cognetti, and Mayor Conway. I mirror all of their remarks when it comes to the rate increases. My major focus here was what I view as a misconception with upgrading their infrastructure. As a borough manager, I deal with taking care of roads, stormwater, different things like that. And it seems like it is a constant battle with the water company to have them look at their infrastructure before the borough spends their general fund money to improve their infrastructure. We would replace a road, and I've actually had instances where a road would be repaved and the next day there's a water leak and they have to tear up the road. We recently, just the other day, had a road paved in our town about 5 months ago, Main Street in Peckville. It is a something that many in the county know it's a rough stretch of road. It was untouched for 5 months. It was just torn up by the water company just the other day. They are constantly chasing after problems, being reactive instead of proactive. And these massive increases are not only burdensome to all of the ratepayers in the area, specifically I'm speaking about Blakely Borough, which is Blakely and Peckville, but Blakely is also a utility provider. We are the electric company. So I understand what they are talking about with having to keep your facilities and your people up to date with the latest technology and do the best you can. But reactivity is not the best way to run a company. You need to be proactive. And in my experience in the last 10 years, it has been very reactive on the water company. We have to constantly call them with issues. There's a leak on a road, and there's been leaks for months, years. No reaction. There's no leak, there's no leak, there's no leak. Finally, there's a leak. They find it, they fix it, and the water issues abate until there's another leak on that line. So it is a constant hardship on the municipality, which in turn is another hardship on PA American Water Company ratepayers, because everybody in Blakely Borough, their electric bill, their taxes are paying to pave those roads. And because the water company has to continually tear those roads up, they do pay to restore them, but the road is not the same as it was when it was repaired. So that is my main reason for speaking here. I can mirror everything that everyone before me has already stated, so I feel that would be redundant. So that's where I'm at. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the company?
Thank you, Mr. Payon, for coming out today. Just wanted to follow up and let you know that someone will reach out to you within the next 24, 48 hours. One of our local operations folks. We're always looking to partner, coordinate on these types of things. As you know, in the job you do, replacing infrastructure means the roads are, going to be torn up and have to be repaved. That's kind of part of the job. And as far as being reactive versus proactive, I think it also might be helpful for that person who will reach out and coordinate with you to get a better sense of our very comprehensive, robust capital management program and how we plan out the infrastructure replacement that we do.
Well, thank you very much, and I can say that I have been in contact multiple times in regards to issues. There has been extensive gas work in our town, and the water company had to be chased after in order to follow the gas company work to update their facilities in the same area. And there has been multiple cuts on those brand new roads from the water company.
Anything else?
Nope.
I&E?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
OSBA?
No, Your Honor.
OCA?
No, thank you.
CEO? Cause PA?
No questions, Your Honor.
Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
City of Scranton?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Okay. Did she sign it? Okay. Is Mary Tenalian here? Hi. Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes.
If you would please raise your right hand.
Yeah, the right.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
You're
If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Mary Tenalian. That's MaryTanealian.
Please state your address.
9240 Westwood Drive, Tobyhanna, PA 18466.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
No, I'm retired.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes, both.
Are you appearing here on behalf of yourself alone or on behalf of a group?
Just myself.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
Yes. My husband and I moved from New Jersey to Pennsylvania 3 years ago. When we lived in New Jersey, we used New Jersey American water, and we had our waste through the CCMUA. At that time, we paid an average of $35 to $50 a month for water, and our wastewater was $27 a month. We got a quarterly bill. We also had, we used the same amount of water. We had a swimming pool. We didn't have to do anything to save water, and we paid twice as much when we moved up here. Now, I'm not sure what the difference between PA American water and New Jersey American water is, but I don't understand how water can cost different in two different states that are only 100 and some miles away. As you can see, our first bill from the
Are you referencing the exhibit you submitted in advance? Okay.
Yes, I have two. Our first bill was January 8th, 2021 to February 5th, 2021. At that time, we paid $96.18 for 2,600 gallons of water. Now, you have the breakdown there, but I'm not going to go into that because it's kind of, make it too long. Our last bill, which was dated December 7, 2023 to January 4th, 2024, was $115.79, but for only 1,600 gallons of water. My husband and I have been forced to decrease our usage from 2,600 gallons to 1,600 gallons so that we could afford to pay for our water bill. What we did was, I bathe once a week. I shampoo my hair once a week. My husband showers 2-3 times a week. We stopped flushing our toilet after urinating. We bought a dishwasher to save money. And in the summertime, we can't even fill up a little baby pool because we can't afford the water. Now, what I don't understand is I understand that, we are not at poverty level, my husband and I, but we do live on Social Security. We have a fixed income. We also have other bills that low-income families also have. We have medical bills. We're seniors. We have medical bills, we have doctor bills, things that younger families might not have. So even though we're not poverty level, we still have issues paying our bill. If we had stayed at $2,600, we would be paying about twice as much as we do now. These are supposed to be our golden years. We're supposed to enjoy the fruits of our labor. But how can we if we can't even flush our toilet? We sit there and we can't take a bath. I can't take a nice soaking bath to help my back because I can't afford the water. It's just too expensive. And as far as the quality of water, I see you're all drinking bottled water. I'm drinking bottled water that's flavored from a store. My husband drinks bottled water. That's an extra expense we have because the water quality of our water is horrible. I can't even make an ice cube with it. I make ice cubes with bottled water because if I put regular water in something, it changes the taste totally. It's horrible. I'd like to know why these basic necessities that we've cut down on, why did we have to cut down on them? I don't understand. I don't understand how water can be so expensive. Also, the American Water Resources, which I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, is a subsidiary or a part of American Water. We paid originally $12.50 a month for that. It's now going up to $19.99 a month. And I live in the community of a Pocono Country Place in Tobyhanna. And I've been told by many people who had American Water Resources that they don't use them anymore because they won't pay. They claim that our pipes are too old. I thought the whole purpose of having this insurance was to avoid costly repairs. But if you're not going to cover it, then why are you offering it? I see that last year, American Water's gross profit for the 12 months ending September 30th of 2023 was $4.133 billion, an 8.42 increase over the previous year. And just as one of the other gentlemen here had testified, why is there such a huge profit that you're coming after us for more money? Why don't you cut into some of your profits? People just can't afford this anymore. Between the electric and the water, it's absolutely ridiculous that people have to go through this to live. I just don't understand it, and I hope that you do not approve these increases. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the company?
Just one clarification.
Yes.
Are you aware that American Water Resources is not a subsidiary of American Water and is not owned by American Water?
No, I was told it was. That's why I said, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. I was told that they were.
So just so you're aware, American Water does not set the rates, has nothing to do with the contracts.
Yeah.
Then why are we billed through?
Hold on. What were you going to say?
This is testifying.
Yeah. Just ask questions, please.
Okay.
Then why is it on our bill?
What was the question? Did you have a question?
She said that they have.
She started explaining it, so then she asked a question.
Yeah,
so
let's-
that's why she can't testify.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Are you aware that there is an agreement between American Water and American Water Resources that those services can be billed on the bill?
No, I was not. Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
I&E?
Just briefly, Your Honor. You had mentioned, like, experiencing water quality issues.
I'm sorry, I can't
Oh,
hear you.
sorry. You had mentioned experiencing water quality issues. Can you elaborate on that, like on time frame or like what types of issues you've encountered?
I can tell you exactly. It was in the summertime, I know, because I was putting ice cubes in my drinks, and my drinks were tasting horrible, and I changed it to bottled water to my ice cubes, and everything tasted fine. And the water just tastes horrible, so we don't drink it.
Okay. And have you experienced this, like in the past? Like, has this type of issue occurred with like taste or any other?
I don't drink the water anymore, so I can't answer that. Honestly, I don't drink it anymore.
Okay. All right. Nothing further, Your Honor.
OSBA?
No questions, Your Honor.
OCA?
Yes. Thank you very much for your testimony. You mentioned wanting to save water by not flushing your toilets. Are you aware that the only way that you can save money on your water bill is by saving your water usage, right? Reducing your water usage?
Yes.
How would you feel if you saved money by reducing your water usage? How would you feel about having to share back those savings with the company, to return those savings to the company? How would you feel about that?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, were you aware in this case that the company is proposing a new rate mechanism that would force you to share back some of your bill savings if enough customers conserve enough water?
I would not be happy. They have enough.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have on another topic, you mentioned water quality and the
Yes.
taste.
Yes.
You described it as horrible. Can you describe any more details relating to that? I understand if you don't have it, but
It's hard to explain. I mean, I was making iced tea, and it just didn't taste right.
did it have like a chemical taste?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned American Water Resources.
Yes.
And does the charge for this protection plan appear on your bill?
Yes, it does.
Do you receive marketing materials from American Water Resources with your bill?
I don't remember.
Okay. And again, I'm sorry if I'm repeating this, but the charge that you receive on the bill, the name is American Water Resources.
It says protection programs. Does not say American Water Resources. It just says, it's on the exhibit, the second one that I had. It says total protection programs, $12.50. For inquiries, please call, it gives a number. One protection program, does not say American Water Resources now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And you mentioned gross profit
Yes.
of the company. And you had mentioned being upset with that. So I'm going to use vocab, so just so that we're on the same page. When I use the word prudent, would you agree with me that that means sensible, careful, thrifty?
Yes.
Okay. The company were you aware that the company is asking that the PUC reward its management of up to $11.8 million a year in extra profit for prudent management of the company?
No, I was not aware.
What do you think of that?
I think it's very unfair. I mean, let's face it, we all know that the CEO and all of the above management get paid a lot of money, and they get perks, and they get bonuses, and all of that. They don't need any more. We're being billed to death down here.
Thank you very much.
You're
No
welcome.
further questions.
CEO? Cause PA?
No questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Representative Donahue?
No questions, Your Honor.
City of Scranton?
None, Your Honor.
I have one question I'll read across, if I could.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I got it.
Just one follow-up question. The rate decoupling mechanism that Ms. Elatia mentioned, are you also aware that it could result in a credit on your bill, not just on a charge?
No, I was not aware of it at all.
Okay, 1 second.
May I follow up to that?
Go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In terms of that credit, are you aware that that can only occur if you continuously save and save more than what the average consumers are saving? So meaning it would happen very rarely.
No, I was not, but I can't save anymore unless I don't bathe at all.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have Ms. Tenalian's exhibit. We're going to mark it as Tenalian Exhibit 1. Are there any objections to this becoming part of the record? Hearing nothing, then Tenalian Exhibit 1 is admitted into the record. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Who's next? Is he on did he sign in there or no? Okay. Larry Milikin? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes, I'd like it to be on the record.
Okay, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Larry Milliken, Larrymilliken.
Please state your address. You can lower your hand, sorry.
I'm a single retired man. I live in my home at 1721 Rear Madison Avenue in Dunmore, 18509.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Both, yes.
Are you testifying on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself.
Okay, thank you. What do you want to tell us?
I have 3 points that I would like to make today for the record. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to comment on PAW's requested rate increases. I feel like, first, this is something of a waste of time of ours and yours to address these disagreements with PAW's water and wastewater rate increases separately when they state in their filing that they have the right under state law to reallocate their revenues between the two divisions without apparently oversight or approval. In their filing, they're asking PUC to make their apparently annual request for rate increases a single amount. You might as well give it to them because they are already treating it that way. Last year's a great example. I hadn't heard the 70% increase on waste. I was kind of blown away by 39%, but they apparently requested a rate increase of 29% for water last year and 39% for wastewater in January. They would start in January 23, and the PUC gave them half that water rate, 14.5%, and all of the 39%, apparently 70. that they convinced PUC they needed. And now in the current filing, they propose to move 35% of their wastewater revenues to the Water Division, apparently with no detrimental effect to the wastewater operation. This looks like a bait and switch game that the PUC and the customer lost. What good is it to review and approve rates separately when they can reshuffle the deck whenever they want? I suggest that the PUC hire an engineer and an accountant dedicated to specifically tracking the capital projects within PAW, so you and we will know where and how the money you're approving is being spent. I also want to point out the absence in the public forum, at least that I've seen, of any mention of the water meter rate increase to $20 that PAW is also requesting. This charge shows up in the water service charge on your bill. This is somewhat hidden in a separate document in the PUC's docket file. Now, my January bill showed $17.50 of service charges, and in their, quote, understanding your bill column, they say service charges, quote, includes charges related to water, wastewater, and fire protection, end quote. That's a circular definition and totally worthless. It gives you no details and nothing about what goes into those charges. I believe the $17.50 fee I am paying actually currently represents the rental of my meter from the company, and they want to increase that to $20. That's a 12.5% increase to my water service bill on top of the 25% increase that they're asking for the water itself. This is kind of a hidden charge, but not a small one. It's half what they're asking for water. That doesn't sound like a lot of money, $20. But if I have to pay that every month for 10 years, God willing I live 10 years, I will have paid them $2,400 for the privilege of renting that meter on my house. I think that's a license to steal, and I think the PUC should regulate this big time. Excuse me. I'm a little emotional about this one. Most importantly, they are actually asking you for a 37.4% hike in wastewater services division, not 24.9. It's just hidden. Ugh, can't even turn the page. Age. My second point. PAW is a wholly owned subsidiary of American Water Works Incorporated. Their stock symbol is AWK. PAW is one of 14 regulated monopoly water companies that AWK owns in 14 states. AWK is the largest water company in the United States and the only water company in the S&P 500. It has a market value of about $26 billion. You may ask why that matters. It matters, and PAW opened the door to it mattering when they made their concluding comments on the current filing. They said, and I quote, conclusion, in summary, the proposed increase in revenues is the minimum increase necessary to permit the company to preserve public health and safety and maintain the integrity of its existing capital, attract necessary capital at reasonable costs, and have an opportunity to actually achieve a fair rate of return, and especially the last part, particularly on its common equity capital. If you Google that, common equity capital, it says it's the amount of all the common shareholders have invested in the company. That's stockholders. Since PAW is a wholly owned subsidiary of AWK, it has no stockholders except AWK. So when they talk about being particularly interested in the rate of return on common equity, they must be referring to AWK's common equity. AWK had a net profit margin of 20.62% in 2022. According to Barron's, they had a net profit margin of 27.68% in the third quarter of 2023. That's a pretty good return for a regulated monopoly. By comparison, all of the major electric utilities that are regulated in this country have an average annual net profit margin of around 16%. When you look at the single-digit numbers reported by PAW in the filing, you need to think about all their profits funneling through to AWK and the profit numbers that they have. Maybe some of that profit should be going back into capital improvements, like PAW's proposed $1 billion capital expenditures that they want $1 billion for from us. And maybe in this rate increase, they can pay for the water meter increase as well. They projected completion of this $1 billion of capital improvements by June of '25, which will probably slide to August or later because of the delay in the hearings. But since the rate increase makes no mention of salaries, labor, intangibles, it is an increase specifically for brick and mortar projects like pipelines, pumping stations, valves, tangible things. Those are capital improvements. These things have a pretty long life expectancy. They should improve operating costs and reduce maintenance going forward. So if they think they will be operational in about 2 years and have to borrow short-term money, what better way to, quote, attract capital at a reasonable cost than to have the customers guarantee paying off $1 billion of principal in 5 years? I don't know a bank in the country that wouldn't give them money at subpar rates for that. That's easy math, 2.04 billion times 5. If the ALJs, my final point, if the ALJs and the PUC decide to approve the 24.9% rate increase, plus the 12.5% meter increase that they're asking for capital improvements, and I don't know why they justify the meter increase, then it should come with a caveat that at the end of 5 years, when we customers have paid them 100% of their principal in these improvements, that PAW must reduce their water rate by $204 million a year. There is no legitimate reason that the rate increase for capital costs for plant facilities should go on indefinitely. Your car loan doesn't, your mortgage doesn't, neither should this mortgage for capital improvements alone. It should be redeemed, sent back to the consumer when they're done paying for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the company?
Sure, just a couple. Mr. Milikin, thanks for coming and speaking to us this afternoon. You had mentioned about what you were calling the meter charge. Are you aware that the customer charge represents fixed costs that do not change with consumption?
Yeah, it's a monthly charge.
So you're aware it's
It's a
not
monthly
actually,
charge for a physical meter on my house.
It's not. Are you aware that it's not actually what you're paying for is not to rent the meter? Are you aware that what that amount represents is fixed costs to serve you that don't change with consumption?
Under services, when you talk about raising the meter rate, you say that to $20. That will show up in my service charges on my bill. Right now, the only thing I can determine from the literature and yours is that the $17.50 I'm paying for is the meter charge.
Are you aware that the 24.9% increase that you referenced, that you were noticed, does in fact include that change to the meter charge?
It was stated separately in a separate document in the PUC dockets. I did not see that listed or mentioned in any of the filing you originally filed or in any of the newspaper coverage or anything else that I've been able to read.
Any questions from I&E?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
OSBA? OCA?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much for your testimony.
You're welcome.
You mentioned reallocation of dollars. Were you aware that in this case, PA American is proposing to reallocate $71 million of wastewater costs and to recover that in water rates?
I was only aware of the 35% number. I didn't know what that translated to in dollars.
What do you think about that?
I think that they overbilled their wastewater customers 35% all of last year. Now that's suddenly available with no penalty to wastewater, and they want to shift it into the water service division.
And do you think that sounds fair?
Of course not.
Thank you, sir.
CEO?
No questions, Your Honor.
Cause PA?
No questions, Your Honor.
Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
City of Scranton?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Can you come here for a second? Okay. Right here, and then we understand there's another gate that signed up out there. And we've only gotten through, what, 2 people and all our lives. Okay, we're sure. If you need to, are you feeling okay?
I'm fine. I'll let you know if I right now.
I have snacks.
That's okay. We're gonna look. We're gonna hopefully have this in 2 hours by 5. It's just 3 o'clock right now.
We have 5 and 6.
We're hoping. We're gonna do it quick. We gotta look at it. See, we need to impose a time limit. We gotta figure out how many people we have left and how much time we can afford people. And that's supposing no one else signs up. Go ahead, take a break. Take a minute. Sure. That's fine. So we have 24 people. We have 100. No, it's 3 o'clock. No, he's got to take a break. He's time out. So we can only go. So we have 20 minutes. Roughly, 24, you said? 5 minutes each. Yeah, you're going to have to. I guess that, well, wait a minute. We still got a lot of time for cross-examination. All right, maybe 3 minutes and 2 minutes for cross, but we can't deny them the right to cross. We can invite people back, but we don't get to people. But he's got to take a break. So what do we say? 5 minutes for direct and cross. Okay, we're gonna have to impose a big cross. Ellen?
Oh, yes.
So we can come in. Okay. 5 minutes total. Great. It's 10 minutes for the against. And 2 minutes for you to cross. Okay.
Yeah. Does he need a break now?
No, I told him.
Okay.
So he'll let us know if he's running an inch. I didn't realize he just told you. Yeah, I told him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, you start, okay. I just want to make the attendees aware that because of the time and necessity to take a break in between hearings, we are going to have to impose a time limit for anyone else who hasn't testified. We're going to impose a time limit of 5 minutes. That includes 3 minutes for you to make your statement and 2 minutes for cross-examination from the panel. I apologize, but we are starting to run short on time. Who's our next person? Is Tim Wellby here? Hi, do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes, please.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Tom Wellby, THOMWELBY.
Please state your address.
119 Park Drive in Scranton.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
Yes, State Representative Bridget Karowski and the House Representatives.
Are you Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes, I am.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of your employer?
Just myself.
Just yourself? Okay. What do you want to tell us?
Well, I'm in unison with everyone here regarding the objection to the rate increases that are proposed, and I appreciate all the testimony offered by the people that preceded us, particularly the elected representatives who pointed out a lot of things, and actually the last two speakers as well, who pointed out a lot of things that I wasn't generally aware of. When Pennsylvania American Water purchased the sewer authority back around 2016, it was under the impression that I had, and was in the paper, I believe, at the time, that part of the agreement was that Pennsylvania American Water would spread the cost of the wastewater over the other customers, and also that it would be a limit, as was testified to by the previous speakers. And that, as I understood it, was part of the agreement of the sale, and the sale perhaps wouldn't have been consummated without the agreement to those what Pennsylvania American Water promised for the future. And it disturbs me that we are now in a position that we are, with particularly the wastewater rates that Pennsylvania American Water is charging for our Scranton and Dunmore customers. I just paid my water bill, wastewater and water bill, and I'm lucky in that I'm able to. In working for formerly State Representative Marty Flynn for 8.5 years, myself spending some time in the House and working for Bridget Karowski, I'm blessed that I can get paid to help people. And a lot of the people that I help are people with helping them with their property tax and rent rebates. And I find a lot of people around severe fixed incomes. We have people coming into the office that are making with their Social Security benefits $800 and $900 a month. How can they pay these bills that are thrust upon them? And just almost a year to the day, a rate increase took effect from Pennsylvania American Water, where the water rate went from $1.31 to $1.61. But the wastewater charge at that time went from $1.06 per 100 gallon to $2.35, almost more than double the wastewater charge.
Just want to advise you're at the 3-minute mark, so if you could wrap up your comments.
I'm at the 3-minute.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I guess it started before I was sworn in. But the issue is that we're being charged $2.35 per 100 gallons of water, yet we're only charged $1.06 to get the water. We're paying more to get rid of the water than we are to get the water. In addition, we are charged on what we receive. For the wastewater, we're charged by the meter of what we received. I wash my car whatever I can out in the yard. I water my garden. I fill the pool. And I am charged for all that water that is not going into the drains. I'm being charged as wastewater for that. The wastewater meter is based on the intake of the water, and I don't understand how that's not only ethical, how that's legal. I wish I could go on about some other things, but obviously I can't.
I'm sorry. We are getting pressed.
I understand.
For time. I will ask the panel, any questions from the company?
In the interest of time, no.
Any questions from INA?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
OSBA?
No, Your Honor.
OCA?
If I can yield my time back to him, if there's any time left over.
Okay. CEO? Cause PA?
Same.
Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
City of Scranton?
No, Your Honor.
Everything okay? Okay. You have 30 seconds.
Oh, thank you. It's just, and again, it's regarding the wastewater charges and the water increases. The severe water increase we had last year, the wastewater increase we had last year, and now the one that's being thrust upon us now with people in the city of Scranton and northeastern Pennsylvania living on such horrible fixed incomes. We really need the support of sometimes we refer to the Public Utility Commission as the Utility Commission, and we hope that with all the testimony today, we can call you the Public Utility Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Marie Demkowski? Wait till she gets to the mic. Yeah, okay, we can do that.
Aye.
Aye. Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Oh, sure.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
M-A-R-I-E, middle initial T, R-A-T-C-H-F-O-R-D hyphen D-E-M-K-O-S-K-Y.
Please state your address.
238 and 1/2 Belmont Street, Troop, Pennsylvania, 18512.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I'm retired.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes.
Are you here testifying on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
I'll make it short. Basically, I've seen, for instance, January, I used 121 gallons and paid $63.71. September, the same amount of gallons and paid $115.89. But then we talk again, August, 100 gallons, 87.68, and September, another month, the same amount, but there was a 15-gallon difference. So their accounting is off in the sense of, I use this much, one month I get charged this month, use the same amount, another month I get charged a different account. That's what concerns me most, and also the mere fact that they're trying to raise water and sewer, and yet their accounting department, again, doesn't send out bills for the usage from December. It seems like if they go back to their accounting, no bill should have to be raised if they get their books right. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions from the company?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions from I&E?
No, Your Honor.
OSBA?
No, Your Honor.
OCA?
No, Your Honor.
CEO?
No, Your Honor.
Cause PA?
No questions, Your Honor.
Representative Donahue?
No questions, Your Honor.
City of Scranton?
None, Your Honor.
Thank you very much for your testimony. John Augustine III?
Good afternoon.
Hi. Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
John Augustine, John-Augustine.
Please state your address for the record.
55 Tanager Way, Mountaintop, PA, 18707.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
Penns Northeast.
I'm sorry?
Penns Northeast.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water Company customer or a wastewater company customer?
Water.
Are you here testifying on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Both.
What group are you testifying on behalf of?
Penns Northeast.
What do you want to tell us?
As I said, my name is John Augustine. I'm the president and CEO of Penns Northeast. Our mission is to attract quality employers to 9 counties in northeastern Pennsylvania. We do this through partnerships with our members to market and promote the numerous assets of the region. One of the key benefits we offer is great access to safe, affordable, and reliable utilities. In order for a business to be successful anywhere in the world, they need water, gas, and electricity. Penns Northeast is fortunate to highlight these resources to growing companies. These assets, however, come with a cost. To be competitive with other communities, our utilities must continue to invest in their infrastructure and their people. Regulated utilities provide convenience, quality, sustainability, and reliability. Recently, a mobile home park in our area faced a water crisis due to privately owned, antiquated water pipe infrastructure. For more than 10 years, this development has seen service interruptions and numerous line breaks. This situation became an emergency 2 weeks ago when temperatures dropped into the low teens, which caused a water buffalo filled with safe drinking water to freeze. The delay to replace and fix these pipes and systems would not have happened if a regulated utility like PA American Water had owned the system. Adequate funding is imperative to improving and maintaining quality, allowing the utility to respond quickly to service-related issues. In addition to providing clean drinking water, PA American Water goes above and beyond by being a strong community partner. They are committed to supporting many important causes, including educational scholarships, diversity and equity programs, and environmental curriculum, to name a few. Our community is growing, and we are seeing an increased demand for utility services. Investments will not only address current needs, but will help prepare us for the future. Without ongoing investments, we cannot remain competitive as a region and a state. Without
30 seconds.
Without ongoing investments, we cannot attract the family-sustaining jobs that our community needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the company?
No, Your Honor.
I&E?
No, Your Honor.
OSBA?
No, Your Honor.
OCA?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you for your testimony. Penn Northeast, is it in any way affiliated with or have a relationship with PA American?
We are a membership-based organization, and they are one of our many members, including most of the utilities.
Okay, so do they pay membership dues to your organization?
All of our members pay dues, yes.
And would you like PA American to continue paying dues to your organization?
I would like all of our members to continue paying dues, because without those dues, we would not cease to exist to attract quality businesses to northeastern Pennsylvania.
Thank you very much.
You can pay dues, too. We'll take yours.
CEO?
No question.
Cause PA?
No question.
Representative Donahue?
Yes, I have one.
Sorry.
Thank you. Although we're all aware of the infrastructure improvements that need to be made, are you aware that PA American Water is requesting an 11% return on investment for their infrastructure improvements?
No, I have not studied the rates in detail.
Thank you.
City of Scranton?
None, Your Honor.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Ellen Ferretti?
Hello.
Hi. Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Ellen Ferretti, E-L-L-E-N, F as in Frank, E-R-R-E-T-T-I.
Please state your address.
28 Marina Drive, Harvey's Lake, Pennsylvania.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
North Branch Land Trust?
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
No.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
The group.
What's the group again? I'm sorry?
North Branch Land Trust. We conserve land and water.
Okay, thank you. What do you want to tell us?
Briefly, with regard to community impact, community partnerships, environmental stewardship, one of the big things we're working on right now with Pennsylvania American Water is over a 3-year project to try to conserve about 220 acres of undeveloped land around the Huntsville Reservoir in Dallasboro and Lehman Township in Luzerne County. We were finally successful in securing grant funding to cover part of this acquisition of a conservation easement, which is the way this project will unfold. And the lands around the Huntsville Reservoir will now be placed in the highest protection area, which means nothing can ever be built or interrupted in this watershed. The conservation of this land will protect an existing greenway in a heavily developed area, protect drinking water quality and stream tributaries, and will provide a space for safe public recreation opportunities for local communities. The Huntsville Reservoir is a high-quality water source that supplies drinking water to 14 municipalities in Luzerne County with a service population of about 30,000 people. With this conservation easement, the project will again receive the highest area of protection and prevent permanent structures from being built in the floodplain and buffer zone. There will be a limited public access area in an area that is conducive to that sort of activity and allows local residents, anybody who wants to visit, to be able to enjoy the lands and the view. We also work with PA American in a partnership effort on one of our preserves called Forest Echo Bird Sanctuary. A while back, because we have limited staff, we had the opportunity to plant several hundred tree seedlings, and it was a volunteer day for PA American, and they helped out in that regard. We are environmental stewards. We conserve and preserve natural lands. We work with property owners on their land, hold events to connect others, to talk about
30 seconds.
Got it. Caring for their lands. Pennsylvania American has been a partner with us along with so many others.
Does that conclude your statement?
Yes.
Any questions from the company?
No, Your Honor.
I&E?
No, Your Honor.
OSBA?
No, Your Honor.
OCA?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much for your testimony. I didn't quite get the name of your groups, I'm sorry, but does your organization receive donations from Pennsylvania American Water?
Yes, many companies, yes.
Okay, and would you like to continue receiving donations from Pennsylvania American Water?
It's how we do our work, through support.
Okay, thank you very much.
CEO?
Yes, Your Honor. Does the land trust take a position on the rate increase request?
No.
Anything else? Anything else?
No, I'm sorry.
Cause PA.
No questions, thank you.
Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
City of Scranton.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Frank Scavo?
Point of order, Your Honor. Would it be beneficial for me to speak at the 6 p.m. because there's less, there'd be more time because I have quite a few items I'd like to enter?
We are limited in time just to wrap this hearing up, so if you wish to come back at the 6th, that's entirely up to you. You can do that instead.
That's what I'll do. It's very important that I get these facts out.
Okay.
Thank you for your consideration. You're welcome.
Bruce Reddock?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Would you like to offer a sworn statement?
I would, yes, thank you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Sure, it's Bruce Reddock, R-E-D-D-O-C-K.
Please state your address.
630 Warren Street, Peckville, Pennsylvania, 18452.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I am the Scranton Lackawanna Industrial Building Company. If I need to repeat that, just let me know, because it's a lot.
I think our court reporter got it, but thank you. Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
A water customer.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
On behalf of SLPCO, which is the acronym for the organization that I represent.
Okay, thank you. What do you want to tell us?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission. My name is Bruce Reddock, and I'm the Director of Economic Development for the Scranton Lackawanna Industrial Building Company, the economic development arm of the Greater Scranton Chamber of Commerce. Today, I'm here to discuss with you the historic relationship between SLPCO and Pennsylvania American Water Company. SLPCO is a nonprofit economic development organization with nearly 80 years of experience facilitating business and community development in Lackawanna County. Indeed, SLPCO has been the driving force behind the development of 15 office and industrial parks spanning over 3,000 acres. Additionally, we have been instrumental in the construction of over 1.2 million square feet of office and industrial facilities. In the course of those developments, we have relied on strategic partnerships with a number of public and private entities, including Pennsylvania Gas and Water, PG&W, and its successor, Pennsylvania American Water Company. Throughout that entire history, the water company has been a key partner, not only for our organization, but also in the broader economic development landscape across Lackawanna County. Our direct relationship with Pennsylvania American Water Company and PG&W in the development of critical infrastructure has yielded remarkable results, facilitating the creation of over 50,000 jobs in Lackawanna County and attracting community investments exceeding $2 billion. As part of these economic development initiatives, SLPCO and the water companies have collaborated on the development of over 23 miles of public water infrastructure, serving more than 240 businesses. SLPCO is grateful for the long-standing partnership with Pennsylvania American Water Company. This collaboration has opened up hundreds of doors for individuals to experience the dignity of business ownership, and for thousands of employees, the self-worth that comes from gainful, family-sustaining employment. We appreciate the opportunity to share our experiences here today, and we trust that the Pennsylvania Utility Commission will thoroughly consider all pertinent facts in order to reach a fair decision on the matter before the board today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the company?
No, Your Honor.
I&E? OSBA?
No.
OCA?
Yes, Your Honor. Is SLPCO a member-based organization?
SLPCO is an affiliate of the Greater Scranton Chamber of Commerce.
Under the
So we are a separate entity, essentially.
Okay. Does your organization receive any payment of donations from Pennsylvania American Water?
I cannot speak to that.
Okay. And so you say you're a part of the Chamber of Commerce?
That is correct. We are a separate 501c affiliate of the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, thank you very much.
CEO.
Do you take issue with any of the impacts as described by the ratepayers today of this proposed rate increase?
In my position here today as a representative of my organization, I'm not here to address that matter or speak to that.
So you're not offering any testimony about the proposed rate increase?
I'm offering testimony in support of our historic relationship with Pennsylvania American Water Company.
Are you offering any testimony about the proposed rate increase?
I am not.
Cause PA.
No question.
Representative Donahue.
Thank you. In terms of economic development, does cost of living play a factor in how you go about economic development and going and selling Slipco in this area?
Sure, absolutely.
Do you think that an exorbitant rate increase would negatively impact that cost of living argument?
I know we're limited on time here, and I won't go too far down the rabbit hole with you, but when we do a cost competitive analysis, looking at the states that we're in most competition with for the ability to win projects in terms of relocating or expanding businesses into our market, all these factors, obviously, as you're alluding to, play into consideration. We historically, and I can't speak to what this is going to look like with regards to the future or potential rate increase, but historically, we have been far superior in our competitive ability to attract individuals and businesses here, specifically for quality of life and the cost of doing business.
Thank you.
City of Scranton.
Mr. Reddick, you said that you're here on behalf of Slipco, that's correct?
That is correct.
And you can agree, based on the pleadings in this case, that Slipco would be entitled to a different rate than the rate that's going to be imposed on the people in this room, correct?
We're not here to speak on behalf of ourselves. We're here to speak on economic development activities.
Right, but you would be obtaining a reduction as opposed to the increase that's going to be imposed on the residents and other businesses, right?
I'm not familiar, no.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
David Fanoop, Sr.
Good afternoon.
Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes, I do.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is David Fanoff, D-A-V-I-D-P-H-A-N-E-U-F, Senior.
Please state your address.
1812 Academy Street, Scranton, Pennsylvania, 18504.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I'm retired.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company?
Yes, I am.
Water or wastewater? Both?
Pardon?
Are you a customer of both?
Yes.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself and the group,
What group?
AARP.
Okay. What do you want to tell us?
Good afternoon. My name is David Fanoff. I'm a volunteer with AARP Pennsylvania, and I'm a Pennsylvania American Water customer. I'm here today on behalf of AARP Pennsylvania members like me who rely on Pennsylvania American Water to provide us with the drinking for hydration, to cooking for nutrition, to wash for basic hygiene, and ensure proper sanitation. AARP Pennsylvania advocates for over 3 million Pennsylvania aged 50 and older who reside in the 37 Pennsylvania counties served by Pennsylvania American Water. Many have low excuse me. Many have low to moderate incomes, while others live on fixed incomes. They struggle to make ends meet with current inflationary pressure in addition to the rising cost of utilities. While we support clean, drinkable, and affordable water for everyone, our members simply cannot afford Pennsylvania American Water's proposal. We are alarmed at Pennsylvania American Water's request for $203.9 million increase, which will result in some customers paying a stunning $300 more per year for their water and/or wastewater. Our specific comments on the request include: the proposed 24.9% increase is burdensome and excessive. For the average water customer, the increase amounts to $17.59 a month.
30 seconds.
Pardon?
30 seconds. Remember, we had to impose a time limit.
Affordable rates throughout Pennsylvania Water Company territory differ, so rates impacts would vary for customers. The residential fixed customer charge a charge paid no matter how much or how little water you use, is burdensome and excessive. Pennsylvania American Water proposes to increase the fixed charge for water consumers by 14%, $2.50, from $17.50 to $20 per month, and for wastewater customers by 40%, $5.70 a month, from $14.30 to $20. The customer fixed charge should not be increased. High fixed charges make controlling your bill very difficult. Water customers should not have to pay wastewater costs. Pennsylvania American Water proposes a shift away. It recovers the cost of the additional $75.8 million per year that the company assesses. It needs to cover its costs for providing wastewater services. It proposes to recover only $4.7 million from wastewater customers.
We're at time. Mr. Fanoff, I need you to wrap up your statement so that the parties have an opportunity to ask you questions.
Thank you.
Any questions from the company?
No questions.
I&E? OSBA? OCA?
I yield my time.
CEO?
I'll yield my time also.
Cause PA? Representative Donahue?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
City of Scranton? Do we have any time? We're actually out of time. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
William Hotaling?
Your Honor, I'm happy to yield my time for any consumer that needs the full 5 minutes to speak. Can anyone else agree to that up here?
Do we have a show of hands? I need everybody
Yeah.
for us to do that. Everyone? Okay, so we'll give everyone, the companies, yeah, look, correct? Okay, we'll yield 5 minutes to each speaker at this point. We won't, everyone is waived cross. So offering a sworn statement?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is William Hotaling, William, Hotaling. I'm here on behalf of Ixom Water Care.
Okay, 1 second. I'll get to that. Please state your address.
3314 Ellsworth Boulevard, Malta, New York.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
Ixom Water Care.
And are you a Pennsylvania American Water Company customer?
I am not.
Okay. And you're on behalf of what group?
Ixom Water Care, water equipment provider.
Okay. What do you want to tell us?
Our company provides services regarding source water, specifically surface water applications. Surface water is prone to high nutrient loading such as phosphorus, manganese, and iron, as well as cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria produces cyanotoxins, which are harmful to the human consumption. A couple illnesses from consumption are followed: abdominal pain, vomiting, headaches, etc. Additionally, MIB and geosmin are another byproduct of cyanobacteria. This also affects taste and odor of water. Our services utilize green energy equipment to provide reservoir lake circulation. The increase of circulation helps to mitigate HABs, also known as harmful algae blooms. Additionally, we provide services to reduce DBPs, also known as disinfection byproducts, specifically trihalomethanes, which will be referred to as THMs. THMs are a carcinogen, which after prolonged exposure can be cancerous. THMs and many other water quality issues are regulated by the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, which is a nationally regulated agency. The EPA works diligently to make sure these regulations are followed by all drinking water companies and municipalities within state-level testing. The EPA releases new regulations for the safety of the American populace, which can be issued and followed within a set time limit interval between 1 to 5 years. Failure to maintain these regulations can result in fines. We provide aeration and circulation equipment to volatilize and remove this national regulated carcinogen prior to human consumption to stay compliant with the EPA regulations. In other words, in an aging infrastructure, we have worked hard with PA American Water to make sure all constituents have safe, potable water, drinking water.
Thank you very much. Does that conclude your statement?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep.
They waved across.
Thanks.
Olivia Jackson. Hi, do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Olivia Jackson, Olivia Jackson, Jackson.
Please state your address.
803 Butler Street, Dunmore, Pennsylvania, 18512.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
Yes, TJX Corporation.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Both.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself.
Okay. Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
Okay, so I am a resident of Dunmore, Pennsylvania, and like many others in my community, I am deeply concerned about the proposed rate increase by the Pennsylvania American Water Company. This increase will significantly impact our daily lives without showing any improvement to our water quality or sustainable improvement to our infrastructure. The Pennsylvania American Water Company is requesting a rate hike that far exceeds what is necessary to provide safe and reliable and adequate service. The company's proposal is not to enhance our services, but to generate more profit at our expense. I will cut to it because I know we're short on time. To give you some perspective, a married couple, dual income, with 2 children, their take-home salary, which is more than the median that was expressed earlier by some others, will save $54,616. For household expenses, average mortgage for our community, with escrow, obviously, is $1,395. Utility totals, which is your water, your gas, your electric, cable internet, because we all need that as well, $1,076.14. Groceries, if you keep it to a minimal, $775. Your homeowner's insurance, $328. Your vehicle payment across both 2 vehicles that both your spouse and yourself need, $500. And don't forget the student loans that we have, that we carry with us. Based on the lowest payment that you could pay over the length of the time, $252. That leaves us with $149.28 to figure out how we want to either save, spend on our health care, pay back our credit card debt. Now, I just think that it's important that you need to ask yourselves, is this rate increase reasonable to put on people, like explained in my math above? Is that a reasonable to impose on us? We deserve a reasonable opportunity, as do you, to invest in our financial futures. $25 extra a month on my mortgage, I'd pay it off 4 months sooner and save $2,700 in interest. I could pay extra on my student loans to get out from underneath that debt. But because of these increases, I'm not able to do so. I'll talk also about costs. I know it was mentioned earlier. I do, have 18 volumes, I think, the documents, lots of pages to read. Didn't grasp all of them, but I did hone in on one thing that the water company is offering, and they're offering wastewater based on winter averages during the summer months. That's, to me, clearly indicative of their current rate calculations not making sense. Water in is not always water out. So thank God this summer I could fill my daughter's little play pool, perhaps hose off my house after the water company this past summer did work in front of our house. And I will say that, I don't know who mentioned it, but I think 160 miles of infrastructure possibly was worked on. Well, the 525 feet of aging sewer pipe that was replaced in front of my house, estimated to take from May 15th to July 15th to complete. It was a month over schedule, and that cost, according to what my information sheet says, $300,000. $300,000 to replace 525 feet of aging pipe. There's days on end that I watched and the workers sitting in their vehicles doing nothing. The 18 volumes does, consist of compensation. I found it interesting to see that one backhoe driver was taking home $60,000 in overtime last year.
30 seconds.
$60,000. And with the projected years across all salaries in 24 and 25, they don't go down, they go up. The overtime goes up, but supplies go down. It doesn't make sense. Something has to give, and it's not on the back of us. We aren't your banks. We aren't your loan officers. We politely reject your rate request. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Stephen Nelson. Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes, I do, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, sir.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Nelson, N-E-L-S-O-N.
Please state your address.
319 South 9th Ave, Scranton, PA 18504.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
No, I am retired. My wife is working.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes, I am, sir.
And are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
I'm appearing behalf of my wife and me.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
What I have a problem with is my bill. My bill. So when I first moved here back in '82, my water bill was about $50 a month. Since you bought that the sewer company, my bill has gone up to $265.61 a month. I'd like to know how you are rating the bills. You have me using 135 gallons of water a month, and that's just me and my wife in our home. I called the water company. I have told them I had no leaks. They tell me that's what my rate is. I'd like to know how you get the rates. Nobody's ever come down to my house and looked at my water meter in the basement since I moved here in 2014. I am being billed for 46 gallons of water every month. I'm paying right now on my water bill. My water service is $91.60 a month. I could see that. But my wastewater, $127.65 a month? $165 a month for wastewater? That is ridiculous. I'd like to know how your billing department comes up with that kind of answer. I am absolutely disgusted with the water company right now. And besides, the water is not fit to drink. I filled my coffee pot the other day, and I couldn't even see my water clear. There was so much chlorine in that water. I had to use bottled water for my coffee. I won't even drink the water. I buy bottled water to drink it. It is absolutely ridiculous. And a rate hike? Why don't you cut your salaries? Like the lady said, I've seen guys out digging on the road. I've seen the guy digging the hole, and about 10 of them standing there watching him. That is absolutely ridiculous. And then it takes them so long to get the job done. It is absolutely ridiculous. You can cut your salaries, cut the pay of some of your employees, but a lot of them don't do anything. And when you're doing a water job, do you need 6 trucks there with 25 people? That's what I've seen on my road when I had a water leak. 6 trucks with 25 people and 2 supervisors. Now that is ridiculous. You've got to figure out how you're going to improve your company, because we cannot pay these anymore. This is outrageous. It really is. That is all I have to say. I wish to God you would do something for the people instead of putting the money on the people's back. Because we can't do it anymore. Well, it's too much on us. I'm on a fixed income. Me and my wife only make $60,000 a year.
20 seconds.
That is it. Now you got to do something, or you're going to drive us right out of the state of Scranton. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony. I'm sorry, I know I'm gonna misstate this name. Jajan Tabajabe? Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
I do.
Please raise your right hand. What's that? Oh, I guess, all right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, Jahan, Jahan, Tabat, Tabai, T-A-B-A, T-A-B-A-I-E. T-A-B-A, T-A-B-A-I-E.
Please state your address for the record.
302 Autumn Drive, Moscow, 18444.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
Self-employed.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Not at this time.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
I'm appearing on behalf of my parents, my brother, and my clients.
Are they customers?
They are.
I mean, your parents and your brother?
They are.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
I want to first thank the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission for hosting this hearing. This matter is very important to thousands of Pennsylvanians who have been negatively impacted by the actions of Pennsylvania American Water. I'm here representing a few property owners, my clients who have properties in Scranton and Dunmore, as well as my parents who are senior citizens and my brother. Much of what I have to say will echo the prior speakers, but let me first say how disappointed I am in Pennsylvania American Water and its parent, American Water. Have you no conscience or sense of community? I can provide, as many others have also done, bills that show Pennsylvania American Water has raised the wastewater or sewer use rate on residential customers at least or more than 250% since 2019. Almost exactly what Senator Flynn had said, excuse me, as well as Representative Donahue. On behalf of my parents, my brother, and my clients, as well as all my residential customers in Scranton and Dunmore, I would like the PUC to press Pennsylvania American Water and publicly disclose answers as to why the sewer rate was raised 60% per year since 2019. The commercial sewer rate is just as bad. I'm a real estate broker with 20 years experience, including as a property manager of a large apartment complex for about 5 years. One example of how Pennsylvania American Water has raised exorbitant amounts on the water and sewer rates that are completely out of control was the following. It was always a rule of thumb that a 4-unit residential building with all 2-bedroom apartments would cost property owners about $200 a month. And this was only about 3 or 4 years ago. Now that average is easily about $400 per month. I would also like to know why the extra revenue that American Water generates seemingly leads to the purchase of another water and/or sewer system instead of investing more in the systems that they already own. Ultimately, every time American Water buys a water or sewer system, the company burdens its existing customers to pay for its current and future purchases. Why is this being allowed? Who is responsible to monitor the actions of American Water? Are they a private company or are they a public company? Are they quasi-public? If they're quasi-public, that's public to me, and I think to everyone else. Lastly, I would like the PUC to not only deny Pennsylvania American Water its latest requested rate increases, but instead strongly recommend that Pennsylvania American Water petition the PUC for a 100% decrease in the wastewater use and fixed rates for all account holders. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Veronica Hanevig.
Hello, I'm Veronica.
Thank you. Do you wish to offer a sworn testimony?
Yes, I do.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
As I understand it, yes.
Thank you. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Veronica, V-E-R-O-N-I-C-A, Hanevig, H-A-N-N-E-V-I-G, or I-V-I-G, doesn't matter. Both are mine.
Please state your address.
Right now is 67 Park Street in Carbondale, 18407.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
No, I'm retired.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Not at the moment, but my daughter is.
Okay.
At 67 Park Street. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
What I want to tell you is to kind of give you a win-win solution to what is going on. Because of my age, my educational background, and so on and so forth, and because I was military back in 1961 before it went all volunteer under the Social Security number, so on and so forth, is that a win-win situation would be to bring back the word seniorage into our vocabulary. Because to understand seniorage is counted as revenue for a government when the money it creates is worth more than it costs to produce, okay? This revenue is often used by government to finance portions of their expenditures without having to collect taxes. We all know that silver was taken out of the coin, therefore Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution was breached. Since then, we have become human capital under the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget. We used to be personnel. When they took the silver out of the coin, we became human resources, disposable commodities. Now we're being called what we truly are. With that in mind, without going in, you guys, you should have been given information. I sent it to the consumer, website. Not website, but email. So everything is in there. If you look at the PDFs that I sent, because this last one I went into over the weekend is that regime change and corruption history of public utility regulations, and this was by a Chicago, think tank, you might say. And so anyway, that kind of gives an idea of what's going on in Scranton, and I related it to what's going on here based on 1945 newspaper article about how the water system was supposed to be managed. And it has to do with the individuals who are in charge of managing it. So therefore, my win-win solution would be to go back to the seniorage system, and you should have that on your computers at some point in time today, okay? And seniorage right now is that the customers for the water usage, and I should have brought my my glasses are here. But the seniorage for the water usage to get the $199 million, $199.2 million to the PAWC for their required need, as they're saying, and based on page 3 of the January 14th Times Tribune, the consumers for Pennsylvania American Water is 681,707 consumers. So based on the calculations, and use your Excel word, or whatever, and you'll see that they should only be obligated to pay for the services of PAW, okay, $2.54, okay? Based on the calculations and what the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System's current cost of productions are, just as of last night, 2.8 cents to print a $1 or a $2 note, 4.8 cents to print a $5 note, 4.8 cents to print a $10 note, 5.3 cents to print a $20 note, 5.2 cents to print a $50 note, and 8.6 cents to print a $100 note. Do the math, okay? Trust but verify, and then charge the people what they are obligated to pay for the use of the services rendered.
30 seconds.
And that goes to the wastewater, and that would be 42 cents based on the 97,585 customers, okay, consumers. Yeah, when I learned about this in 1993, it was from a Federal Reserve site, and it was 3 cents to print a note of any denomination, okay? I was thinking, oh, for every $10 of my labor, I am...
That's time.
Okay, never mind.
You did submit a couple of exhibits.
Yes, I did. Yes.
One was circulated today.
And please do, do an investigation of who's responsible for getting us to where we are today. This is on behalf of all the people of Pennsylvania, Article 1, Section 2 people, and Pennsylvania Constitution. And, Article 1, Section 12, who has become the authority over the legislature that now has the power of making, changing the laws. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Hold on one second. One was circulated the other day by the OCA, I believe. Ms. Gannon circulated one today. Oh, that's fine. Any objections to the two? It's two, right?
Yeah.
So there's three? Two. Any objections to the two exhibits?
Your Honor, we really haven't seen the ones that were just circulated today. Would it be possible to table this and deal with whether this enters the record at the evidentiary hearings?
I'm willing to come back and talk more if you have questions.
It's about the admissibility of your exhibit. They just requested a table deciding whether or not they want to object to its admission, and we're fine with that. They haven't had a chance to see it. No, just the one that was circulated today. Do you have any issue with the first exhibit?
No.
Anyone have an issue with Exhibit 1? Hearing nothing, then Hannevig Exhibit 1 is admitted into the record. You want to hold off because you haven't seen the second one? Okay. By when?
Honor, I just say that you could always just give it the weight is due when you're looking at it for decision.
I haven't even seen it, so
Okay,
I haven't
okay.
seen it myself. So what do you want to say? Well, do you have access to a computer?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can look in between hearings and let us know. And if need be, we can admit it tonight. We can deal with it tonight. If there's an objection, we'll deal with it at the time. So we'll table dealing with Exhibit number 2 at this time. Exhibit 1 is admitted into the record. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Yes, and if you need more, information, just ask, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next? James McDermott. Is this a copy? Okay. Hi, do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
James
McDermott.
Please state your address.
1210 Woodlawn Street, Scranton, Pennsylvania, 18509.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
Retired.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes, both.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
First thing I wanted to say is the bill we got last month was for $189 for 2 people, and it was a 34-day reading, and we were not home for 7 of those days. So that's number one. Number two, we did have a sewer backup problem in November. I do have the protection plan. It was Sunday at 1 o'clock. I called, talked to the rep, and they said, we can be out there between 2 and 4 on Thursday. And this is Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Monday, I had to call Rossi Reuter, a local sewer company, that came out at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday and took care of the problem. And each time I was on the phone with the rep from American Water, they tried to sell, besides their sewer protection program outside, they wanted to sell the interior sewer protection program. And naturally, I told them not at this time, because I thought Sunday at 1, and they could come out Thursday between 10 and 2 was just unreasonable. And finally, I have a whole house water filter. In the last 3 months, here are 2 of my filters from my whole house. And if anybody would like to drink water out of these filters, we make ice cubes with bottled water, because within the past year or 2, when you see ice cubes and you see specks in your frozen ice cubes, something is wrong. So we use bottled water for coffee, bottled water to drink. We have a Brita water filter in the refrigerator. So all in all, I am requesting deny any rate increase. Does this deserve a rate increase? I don't think so.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Maybe or maybe. Okay. John Maybe or Maven? Would you like to offer a sworn statement? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is John, John, Mayday, Maday.
Please state your address.
46 Marlborough, Marlborough Avenue, Wilkes-Barre, 18702-1625.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I'm retired.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Water.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of the group?
I'm here on behalf of myself and the Riverfront Parks Committee.
Thank you. What do you want to tell us?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, on my own behalf, I'm appreciative that I have access to a clean, secure, safe water supply courtesy of the Pennsylvania American Water. Now, as to the Riverfront Parks Committee is a nonprofit 501c3 environmental education organization. We've been together, it's all volunteer, we've never had an employee. We've been together 30 plus years as volunteers to, our mission is environmental education, awareness, stewardship, advocacy, and recreation. One of our key partners, one of our key community partners, business partners, is the Pennsylvania American Water Company. We conduct, the way we fulfill our mission is we conduct events and programs in the parks along the river in the city of Wilkes-Barre, and that would be Nesbitt Park, the natural area of Kirby Park and the River Common Park on the east side of the river. Some of these events include, we just held one this past weekend, a Winterfest event. We also have an Earth Day event we've been doing for about 25 years, where we host anywhere from 600 to 1,000 local elementary school students in Nesbitt Park with about 30-plus environmental education exhibitors. We also hold a river festival that goes on for 3 days in June. That also includes environmental exhibits, 30-plus, some of the same exhibitors. We also partner with Pennsylvania American Water on with a water camp for 7 to 11-year-olds. It's a 4-day water camp. This last year, we held it on the campus of Wilkes University using some of their science facilities. That water camp teaches about water, the environment, watersheds, etc. We also hold an event called Chalk Fest that's focuses on artistic creativity for children, but also include environmental exhibits. We also, as to the recreation piece, we hold an event called Dragon Boat Racing that's held on the Susquehanna River. As I said, one of our key partners, among many others in the community, Pennsylvania American Water. They're with us every step of the way. We also work with we're also part of the United Way Day of Caring in Wilkes-Barre, where we have a cleanup in some of the parks in Nesbitt Park. Pennsylvania American is right there with us. They have volunteers to help us with that. They're on site for all of our events. They have exhibits set up to teach about the environment. So that goes a long way to their involvement in the community and their environmental stewardship. So we certainly appreciate what they do and continue doing it with us for as long as we are conducting our mission.
Does that conclude your testimony?
That concludes my testimony.
Thank you very much.
Any questions? Nope.
No,
Thank you.
They've all waved cross. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rich Brill. Do you wish to offer a sworn statement?
Yes, sir.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Richard Brill, B-R-I-L-L, 734 North Rebecca Avenue, Scranton, PA 18504.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I'm retired.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes, I am.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself and the aging population of the city of Scranton.
Okay, thank you. What do you want to tell us?
I've worked with aging all my career. And you have to understand that the people of Scranton are mostly elderly. So when they get a bill, they open it up and they only see the amount due on there and they pay the amount due. So 7 years ago, when the system changed and the sewer authority was sold, now the bill has many components to it. They only see the water company bill as the water bill. They don't see it as the water and the sewer bill. And what used to be $50 a month now comes out to be $200 a month. And it's just way too much for the people to bear. Everything you've heard tonight, I agree with the financial people, the legislators. I do agree with that. On my own personal site, since I'm the bill payer, I noticed that in December, my normal bill was, say, $150 the month of December. This December, after it was announced that the PUC was going to have hearings about the pay hikes, we received a Christmas present from the water company. My bill was only $112. It's almost never been $112. So I think, what's this about? It's usually 150, 60, it's now 112. So I was happy to pay 112. But I looked at it and it was for 27 days as opposed to the usual 31, 32 days. So I said to myself, this is just another way that the monopoly is able to manipulate the people. Another example, and then I'll be done, is that in 2 months, September and August, I got bills of $179.63. The next month, I got a bill for $179.63. What logic is there to say that I used the exact amount of drops of water from 1 month to the next month, especially when sometimes there's a different day involved, a number of days in the month. So it's questionable to me about what their accounting policies are. But that's my own personal peeve. But I just want you to understand what the constituents are in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Thank you. Oh, so what I'm here to say is that please reject the rate hike, and also please see if you can get us a rebate from the prior year's fee increase. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony. Joanne Baronski. Joanne Baronski. Oh, that's her name. Who's the next person? Boder? John Borer. Would you like to offer a sworn statement?
I would.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
It is.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
John, common spelling, Borer, B-O-R-E-R.
Please state your address.
1115 Cedar Avenue, Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I'm retired.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
I am.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or as a part of a group?
Myself.
Thank you. What would you like to tell us?
I just want to reiterate what has already been said about the rate hike. I'm opposed to it, not only being a senior citizen, but everybody has a budget, and everybody has limited incomes, and this is by far too much money. Enough is enough. We don't get what we should out of this to begin with, but this rate hike is out of bounds for most people. We just can't afford anymore. Between the water, between electricity, between our taxes and everything else, it's just getting out of hand. People can't afford this anymore. We're being pulled everything. Everybody's in my pocket except me. Everybody's taking a pinch out of it, and we can't afford it anymore. That's about all I have to say. I want to thank the elected officials that came on our behalf today. That's appreciated by all of the ratepayers and all of their constituents. We're very happy to see them in our corner for us, and I hope you'll refuse this rate hike, in part by the exorbitant amount that they want from this rate hike. The percentages have to be lowered. We can't keep up with it every year. We just can't. It's out of our pockets. On a second note, my wife asked me to speak up, and in November of the past year, she, through the course of the day, doing her normal wash load, the whole wash load was ruined by contaminated water with rust and stains and whatever. Now, years ago, when it was Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company, you would make a call, and they would send a representative out. And what they would do is they would bring out a bottle of this. And what this is it's like a stain remover you add to the wash. And it would remove most of the stains that were in the wash. And that was the end of it. So I made a call, and I spoke to several people, and they took my information, and nothing became of it. And about a week later, I get a call back from another representative who wanted to know about my claim. And they said that they would hand it off to someone else. And what I got back from that was a letter from Travelers Indemnity, which is the insurance company for Pennsylvania American Water, denying my claim. So that's where that stands. So what 20 years ago cost maybe $1. Now in 2023, this probably cost $100 to have this done. This is a waste of money. This made us happy. this made us angry. So I ask you again, please consider this on behalf of everybody, including yourselves, where these rate hikes are going, to please bear with us, because we can't afford this anymore. It's just out of control. And who's to say what's going to happen down the road from this? It's too much for us anymore. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Orestes Mesdea. Hi, would you like to offer a sworn statement?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Orestes Mazdou, O-R-E-S-T-E-S-M-A-S-D-E-U.
Please state your address.
1646 Monsey Avenue, Scranton, PA 18509.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I'm employed by the U.S. Postal Service.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself.
Thank you. What would you like to tell us?
I reject the increase by the water company because I pay over $200 a month in water only. And just like Mr. Flynn was here, he said that he was, they forgot to bill or something, they forgot to bill last month or something. So they did the same thing to me. They offered me a bill, and they wanted late fees. So I think I'm trying to get gypped. So they're trying to take advantage of a regular consumer, which we already know here in PA that the gas is high, electric is high. You know, you go to Walmart, everything is high. So I reject the increase because I think I'm here like everyone else here. You know, how much is it's too much already. You know, if you're like $1 million company, we're just average Joes here. We're just average people trying to make ends meet, you know, provide for our families. And it's just excessive. So I reject the bill, and I don't know what else to say. You know, I'm very disappointed in the Pennsylvania American Water Company for their high charges, their high bills. I don't think it's necessary that you have to limit yourself how many times you can brush your teeth, take a shower, or whatever it is that you're doing. You want to wash your dishes. That's just unheard of. You know, years ago, water was, like everyone has said before me, was affordable. Now it's like through the roof. It's like almost a car payment, $200 a month. It's wrong. It's very wrong to a regular consumer, and I hope that, you know, something gets done, and I hope you charge, you know, 0%. I hope you have a decrease, because it's just excessive, and that's about it.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Rich Jenkins. Would you like to offer a sworn statement?
Yes, I would.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Richard Jenkins, Jenkins.
Please state your address.
200 Adams Avenue, Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I am, by Pioneer Construction.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
My landlord is.
Okay. Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
A company.
Okay. What do you want to tell us?
Today I would like to offer testimony on behalf of Pioneer Construction Company, a utilities contractor based out of Honesdale in Wayne County, Pennsylvania. In my position as a materials engineer, I oversee the approval and purchasing of all materials used in construction, including pipeline and water handling systems. Pioneer Construction was established in 1996 as an excavating company doing basic site and road work. It employed 8 people and had 12 pieces of equipment. Since that time, we have evolved into a company employing over 200 highly skilled and dedicated employees, now working with over 300 pieces of heavy equipment, and have become one of the area's major utility contractors able to complete multi-million-dollar infrastructure projects. Much of our growth and abilities wouldn't be possible if not for our continued involvement with PAWAC. Our first project with Pennsylvania American Water Company was in 1997, and since then we have completed over 700 Pennsylvania American Water Company projects in 8 counties. These projects include new construction, repairs to existing systems, and 24/7 emergency work. In the last 5 years alone, we have completed 280 such projects for Pennsylvania American Water at a total cost nearing $90 million. Presently, we are working on 12 projects for Pennsylvania American Water and continue to bid for future work. Of our 200 employees, roughly 2/3 presently involved with PA American Water projects. That is approximately 135 households directly impacted by the work of Pennsylvania American Water contracts for. When factoring in subcontractors and suppliers, the numbers of employees and households impacted may well double. I should add that with our continued success, Pioneer Construction is able to engage with and contribute to numerous local communities and nonprofit institutions, such as chambers of commerce, fire and ambulance companies, food banks, and even 4-H clubs. In closing, I hope that I have shown how working with Pennsylvania American Water has benefited our company's growth and abilities, as well as the livelihoods of our employees and communities they call home. Let me add that Pennsylvania American Water's commitment to building and maintaining critical infrastructure is proof they are constantly striving to deliver safe and reliable water service to its customers. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. I know I'm going to say this incorrectly. David Dobrism? I assume you want to take the oath?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, David, of course, D-O-B-R-Z-Y-N, and there's a $5 prize for pronouncing it correctly.
I said it right?
No.
Oh. Okay. Please state your address.
Yes, 609 Crown Avenue, Scranton, Pennsylvania, 18505.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I'm retired.
Are you
not young, just immature.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes, I am.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself mostly, but I attend council meetings and such, and I talk for other people if they'll have me.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
I attended a lot of council meetings and so forth, and over the years, and there's some stuff I have to mention here.
Okay. What do you want to tell us?
Okay. Now, with these increases, these percentages parlay. If you get a 100% increase, to keep it simple, last year, and they raise it 50% this year, that's equivalent to 100% of last year's bill. Our water bill, we're being billed to subsidize sewer authorities throughout. And unfortunately, we were barred from getting ours subsidized, so we get nothing out of it. And I resent paying a bill for somebody else for a gated community or whatever that PA Water, American Water bought out. And in Scranton, if your house has no water service or electricity or gas or whatever, your home can be condemned. They could put a pink sticker on it and you cannot enter until it's resolved. There was only one meeting on the sale of the sewer authority, which has gone into the stratosphere as far as price. And it was held on a campus, Marywood campus, and I didn't even get decent treatment out of the personnel at Marywood as to answers. I couldn't even find the meeting. I got there very late. And retirement COLAs don't include regional issues like this, And unfortunately, I never had a boss call me in and said, I insist that you get a raise because of the high cost of living nowadays. A lot of people that are working in the private sector don't see raises for years. And a lot of these public issues are being advocated by 501c3s and C4s. Colleges, universities, Chamber of Commerce, you name it, they were in on this sewer sale, pushing it, and the sewer authority, and they never include a counter argument or a counter discussion on whether this is a wise thing to do. They pay no taxes, and the poor jerk that's stuck paying the bigger bill and the bigger taxes, well, isn't that just too bad? And something came to my attention years ago. Banks can do this, utilities and so forth. They could just say, well, your bill didn't arrive on the due date. And even if it did, they could put it on a shelf and open up the letter later and charge you the late fees. And in some cases, it was $30 with Bank of America, but that's not pertinent to this. But you could get hit for a couple dollars extra just by them throwing it on a shelf and, oh, we didn't get to it today. So that's pretty much what I have to say. So is there any questions? I know we're all here very late.
No, the panel has agreed to waive cross-examination. Thank you for your testimony.
All righty, thank you. Have a good day, and hopefully we'll decide no more increases for a while.
Teresa Fagerland? I guess I got it wrong, right?
Yeah, it's funny. Everybody does. I married into the name, so it's Teresa Fagerland, Fagerlin.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to offer a sworn statement?
Yes.
I'm gonna have her do that again.
Teresa, and the middle initial is M. Fagerland, Fagerlin.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Now that you're sworn, would you please state your name?
Thank you, because the back thanks you, my legs thank you, everything thanks you. So I'm here.
Hold on, I have a couple of questions I need to ask you, and I will turn it right over to you.
Okay.
I just need you to state your name for the record.
Okay, it's Teresa M. Fagerland. I live at 621 Harrison Avenue in Scranton, PA, 18510. I am employed by Bank of America, but I am on leave for health reasons.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Yes, I am.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself.
Thank you. What would you like to tell us?
Okay, so there's a couple of things, but I know I have to shorten it up because I was sitting here for like 3.5, almost 4 hours. So first thing I wanted to tell you is I am opposed of this increase, with the hike increase. You want to know how it affects people, I'm going to let you know. So one of the things I wanted to let you know was in the summertime, the water bills fluctuate, especially in the summertime when you use pools and lawns and all that stuff. But my water bill went up real super high. So I had called the water company and I said to them, look, my bill is crazy amount. And I said, 1 minute it's this amount, next minute it's that amount. And I said to her that, I'm going to be filling my pool, which I know costs about $200 to fill it in the summer. It's like a little bread pool. The thing that I want to get a hold of is that it was increased, and it was increased by, I was downstairs washing my clothes. And I have a basement, and there's a window to the side. And I'm usually in and out doing doctor's appointments and everything, but I particularly was home this night. Somebody was stealing my water. They stole up to $200 in water. The spigot on the side, I own a 621, 623 Harrison Avenue. I am also a landlord of 27 years. I own my home for 29. Right now, it's vacant because I had hoarders and I had to get them evicted out. Now, I'm just shocked that saw people running with pails down my alley. So this is what it comes to. People are so desperate to have drinking water, to have washed their clothes, to fill up even anything that they need to use, that they need to now steal water from their neighbors. And it's disgusting. And it needs to stop because the water bill keeps going up. Nobody can afford it. Now, the other thing that I wanted to address to you is that in July or August, I filled up my little bread pool, which I said cost $200. Me and my husband clean it out. He mostly does the cleaning out because I'm disabled and I just can't do anything anymore. So he was cleaning it out and we filled it up with the spigot. As we were filling it up, we noticed that the water was cloudy. And I said, why is this water cloudy? I said, it came from the spigot that we drink from. And he's like, I don't know, I don't have that answer. We cleaned it pretty good, that there was nothing there that can make this water. So we took a scoop of it after it was full, and I took it to the pool place. They told me my pH was off. They told me my the chlorine was off. He goes, like, where did you get the water? I said, from my spigot in my house. So this goes to show you that I had it tested. I called the Pennsylvania Water Company. They didn't have a guy come, and I said to him, he said, well, it looks fine to me. I said, would you drink it? He goes, no. So where do you go from there? Do you know what I mean? Where do you go from there? I don't drink the water because it smells funny, and it tastes like metal to me. I have a Brita. I have a refrigerator that you get the water in your drinks and everything. The only thing I do is bathe and wash the clothes. But I mean, I oppose this rate hike. And to tell you that it's really sad.
30 seconds.
I know that there are people in the community that have to, and now I have to turn my the thing off, the shut off, so that nobody goes on my two sides and steals my water. That's all. I just thank you for your time. I've been sitting here for 3.5 hours, and it should have been really a lot with the people, too. I get it. I like the legislator, the high-ups and everything, but the people need to speak. You know what I mean? Instead of getting shortened. All that, figures and stuff. I'm just one person that wants the water bill to be contained, and I know they have to have hikes, but they don't have to have it super high where people have to steal the water now. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We do appreciate your testimony. Lee Moyer? I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly. Lee Moyer? Oh, I have no idea. We'll get to that in a second. Do you want to offer a sworn statement?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Lee Morgan. I live at 1215 Stafford Avenue in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I work for Energy Construction Management. And do you have any other questions?
Yeah, are you a Pennsylvania American Water or wastewater customer?
Yes, I am.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
No, on behalf of myself.
Thank you. What would you like to tell us?
I'd like to tell you that I don't see how the PUC can really help us in the situation we're in because, as intelligent as you might be, I think the country is suffering from collective stupidity. And that's not calling anybody stupid. That's just that we're following a course of action in this country and in this situation where everybody knows that the people can't afford this water. Everybody knows that the rate increases are wrong. We don't have to vilify American Water for that. We just have to face the reality that this is what we face. But the city of Scranton and the residents in Dunmore locally wouldn't be in this shape if the PUC didn't determine that the Scranton Sewer Authority could be sold by the city of Scranton, okay, to allegedly solve its pension debts. And then after it sold it, none of the money went into the pension funds. Okay, so then what we did is we threw all the residents under the bus. And then we look, because politics is a very brutal game. Okay, what a politician says to your face and what they do behind your back are two different things. So they can come here and say that they're with us, but, you know, not any reflection on the representative here from Pennsylvania American Water, but, you know, the PUC is appointed by the governor and the state legislature. And how much more politics can the people take? You know, Marie Antoinette said, let the poor eat cake, and then we had the French Revolution. And you see where our country is now. It's almost in a complete breakdown. It's getting ready to go. And when you work with people like I do that make over $100,000 a year, and a guy says to me, I've got a beautiful house in the hill, pocket doors, hardwood floors, and one day he comes to work and he says, I've had it. When you can't afford to bathe your kids every night, okay, and taxes are out of control, you do what you got to do. He just walked away from the house, just shut the door and left. Okay, that's what we're facing here. Okay, we're facing a government that doesn't seem to realize one thing. People only have so much income, okay? Now, when you take a look at what Pennsylvania American Water is doing, and not a criticism of them, if you allegedly use 76 gallons of water a day, okay, and your bill's, let's say, $160, we have to realize one thing here. It's a human right to have water. And the other thing is the state of Pennsylvania owns every drop of water in this state. So all Pennsylvania American Water is doing is transmitting water from a collection point to the residents. But the Commonwealth itself owns the water the minute it flies out of the sky. Okay, so who are we really kidding here? We're being lied to by everybody. And the truth of the matter is our standard of living is dropping rapidly, and we're becoming a third world nation because it's collective stupidity. And when you take a look at what I have a very long history. I moved the person who ran Pennsylvania American Water locally to Memphis, Tennessee. He left here after Quince blew up and took over all the utilities in Memphis. And he told me geodiasis is coming because they're selling land up by the reservoir. And you just take a look at all that. And then you see the indifference. People are blaming workers for what's happening. And it's not the workers. It's the government. Okay, Pennsylvania American Water comes, they meet the governor, they meet the state senators, everybody has a little party, they all talk, they all have a plan, and who goes under the bus? The ordinary people. And that's what's going on. And we've got to see that reality. Don't forget that the people in Detroit drank water laced with lead for a very long time as their politicians told them they were representing them. So when the mayor of Scranton, who was put in jail for corruption, sold the sewer authority, and then allowed, here's the kicker on the whole thing, they took the reserve fund and invested it into the authority before they transferred it, millions of dollars. So what are we really talking about here? I understand you're a judge, but you know something? There's just no faith in any mechanism in America. And if you have any questions, I'll take them. But I've gone to public meetings for almost 40 years, and the thing that got me there was an old lady who was about 90 years old walking up to a podium at a school board meeting almost crying because she couldn't pay anymore. And you know, I watched the old people come up here, and I'm one of them now, okay? They're out of money. But not only are the old people out of money, the people I work with making between $100,000 and $116,000 a year won't live in this city and won't pay that money, that rate for water. They'll buy a house outside the city, put a well in, and get water. And they're only transferring the water that you own. They don't own that water, they're transferring your water. And when they put the filtration,
30 seconds.
When they put the filtration plant in Scranton, they bought a system that was almost obsolete because my brother maintained that at Lake Scranton, and I was in that building. We've been lied to by everybody, by the politicians, by the courts, by everyone. And now what we really need here is we need a rollback of at least 10 years from the PUC. That's what you need to recommend. And we need to take the rates back to sanity, because if you can't raise your children in a city and they can't use water and they don't have access to clean water, you don't have a society. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony. Yuda Fink. Hi, do you wish to offer a sworn?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do affirm.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yehuda Fink, Y-E-H-U-D-A-H, F-I-N-K.
Please state your address.
300 Breck Street, Scranton, PA 18505.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
Yes, by David Elliott Poultry Farm.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Both.
Are you here appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Myself, my company, and my family, who all lives locally.
Thank you. What would you like to tell us?
So I'm here. I'm one of the family owners and operators of a small business here in Scranton. We're a food manufacturer, and in Southside, actually up the road from the sewer authority. And we're among the largest water users industrial water users in Scranton. So first off, thank you to Pennsylvania American Water for providing a supply. Independent of the concerns we have, it is a need that we have, and they are filling it, independent of the concerns. And thank you to the PUC for having this open forum. Like I said, we're a very large user of water. We're going through about 16 million gallons a year, $500,000 a year worth of water and sewer combined, all going now to Pennsylvania American Water. The rate increase that was being referenced here by other people, topping out at 32%. I know that when I did the math based upon the rates that they told me about and that would be relevant to us back in November, we're looking at a 36% increase on water, on industrial water. The fact that the wastewater treatment has not gone up as significantly, still asking for an increase in this proposal, but it's not as significant. However, that when you compare it over the last couple of years, we've had, besides for the general increases that have been mentioned by all the former speakers, as a small business, as a manufacturer, industrial user, we pay a quarterly usage charge on top of our regular per gallon rate. That rate for the wastewater treatment has gone up about 120% in the last 2 years, more than doubled. These numbers are very significant. You're talking about this proposal being $100,000 roughly, maybe on an annual basis, $50,000 on that wastewater treatment, just on the tariffs, not on the base processing. That's real money for a family business. We've got 120 plus employees. When we talk about having to nix that, that's a lot of money. Right now, we have to figure out how to cover those increases for ourselves, but we also have to cover it for our employees. Our employees are living locally. They need more money to cover, again, if this proposal is approved, which I hope that it won't be, they're going to need more money, which means we have to raise their pay rates, which in turn means we're raising prices because we don't have a pocket to pull this all from. I do generally believe in capitalism and this idea of raising prices to cover costs. However, right now, looking at American Water's financial statements, at a 22% profit margin, that far exceeds our family business's margin. Basically, they're asking to increase their profit margin at the expense of ours. And that just doesn't seem reasonable. There's capital expenditures we have to spend, and there's capital expenditures they have to spend. I don't know why we're funding their capital expenditures. In terms of another way to sense that impact, just in terms of our employee base, we put a 401k retirement plan in during the pandemic to help an aging workforce and make sure that they are well planned. Today's society is not doing a great job at planning retirement. We put that in, and that would be about the equivalent of this raise, meaning we would have to potentially opt out of continuing a 401k retirement for people, which is really helpful in the long run. It's really the right thing, but this is a significant amount of money. We have not had a lot of other businesses come up here to speak, so I do want to point out that I would like to put this in on behalf of all of them, really, because this is a big deal. And when we're trying to stem inflation, raising costs to consumers, which is then going to trickle up to the companies, which means they're going to raise prices to cover those costs. It's just a vicious cycle of inflation that we don't
30
want.
seconds.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you very much for your testimony. I'll try the name. Is there a Joe Galuli? I don't think I said it right, but it was close, I guess.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Do you wish to offer a sworn testimony?
I do.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Joseph Gilhooley, Gilhooley.
Please state your address.
18 Morell Street, Scranton, Pennsylvania, 18509.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
Retired.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
I am at a different address, yes.
And are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Both, actually. We formed an organization called Oppose PA Water Hike.
Okay.
We opened up an office downtown, and we had hundreds of complaints that came in. And regarding the small businesses, can I go on?
Well, hold on. I just wanted to answer that question. I'll give it over to you. So you're appearing on behalf of yourself or the organization or both?
Both.
Thank you. Now you can tell us what you want to tell us.
Numerous things have me shocked at this meeting. Numerous. Counsel for PAWC just blamed the Pennsylvania Utility Commission for the rate increase last year, but yet it was you who asked for the rate increase. Mind-boggling. Now, last week that I had a meeting with Pennsylvania American Water representatives, they blamed the OCA. They said, bring that up in the hearing. Now, when's Pennsylvania American Water Company going to take some responsibility for this nonsense? Okay? You agreed to a 1.9% increase per year for 10 years in an asset purchase agreement. You reneged on it. You reneged on it. The poor people of Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is a 60-plus community. Let's not talk about ages here, okay? In Scranton and Dunmore, your ratepayers are 60-plus. And I know this because I know the politics of it, all right? This is outrageous. 70% last year, an 88-year-old woman named Dan Harrington came to me, and this is how I got involved. She's like my second mother. She came to me with a bill crying. It was $92 the previous year. It's over $200 this year, per month. Per month. How do you expect them to handle this? Now, Pennsylvania American Water Company, I don't care what you tell me. They don't respond to their people. I listened to, I would bet 1,000 people that came through that office. We filed hundreds of complaints that you probably just received. They were sent UPS for the return date. All right? I'm going to say one thing. You wouldn't believe the amount of business owners that came in. And you know what those business owners said once we told them? If you sign up an official complaint, you got to hire a lawyer. The little delicatessen, the little bar owner. This is ridiculous that they have to bring counsel here to speak on their behalf. Now, coming here today, I see that wasn't necessary. That you guys, and I would respectfully congratulate the judge for allowing all the people to speak. But a lot of business owners didn't file formal complaints purely for the simple reason they had to hire an attorney. That would have cost them $1,000 minimum, probably $1,500 just for a couple of hours to be here and to prepare. Nonsense, pure nonsense. And that's on the PUC also. That form is ridiculous. Now, let's talk about real briefly the process. We were told there would be a suspension. When we hear suspension, we thought that you were suspending the rate increase while you held an investigation. All right, I believe that that was just sometime probably about December 20th. By December 23rd, which was right before Christmas, the administrative law judge, which I'm presuming is you, Judge Powell, they announced, PUC announced that you would be taking over and holding specific hearings. On the following Wednesday after Christmas, all of a sudden, there is a meeting of all of the complainants and the parties involved. Well, these are all the parties that were involved in the last situation, last year. Same parties. Ridiculous. Representative Donahue was smart enough to file an active complaint, or he wouldn't be sitting up there today. The city of Scranton, smart enough to file an active complaint, or they wouldn't be sitting up there today. They got a seat at this table now. And I hope for the senior citizens in this town and the working families, we're a blue-collar hometown Scranton. Joe Biden, whether you like him or not, blue-collar. My point is to you, do not raise these rates anymore, because I think they're in violation of the asset purchase agreement. And if you do so, shame on you. Thank you for your time, and I'm going to show you one thing that'll blow your mind, because I couldn't take everything up here, but I'm going to show the members this. This here is a picture of water that was taken last week and done. All right? This is purely unacceptable, no matter what way you look at it. All right? And I'm outraged. And I'm outraged that business people have to come in that can't afford a lawyer, that can't be here today to talk. Thank you very much for being. Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your testimony. George Young. Is George Young here? David Bergenhof?
You mispronounced it, but I'll blame that on my handwriting. It's Bergerhof.
Oh, I'm not having a good day with pronunciation.
Yeah, don't worry about it. No one gets it right.
Would you like to offer sworn testimony?
Yes, that's fine, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
David, D-A-V-I-D, Bergerhof, B-U-R-G-E-R-H-O-F-F.
Please state your address.
1695 Church Avenue, Scranton, PA 18508.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I'm self-employed. I'm a gig worker, and I also work for a company out of Luzerne.
Are you a Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company customer?
Both, yes, sir.
Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
Pretty much myself, but I guess my statement might expand who I'm actually here to represent today.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I think my statement will expand a little bit more than this is a little bit more than about me, and I think that's covered in my little statement here.
Okay. What would you like to tell us?
First of all, let's focus on a major point we heard today, and I don't think it's been stated enough, and that's the water's dirty. It's been dirty for a long time, and I'm one of many people who refuse to drink the water, and my only evidence is a few months back, we were continually getting notices. You guys kept busting lines. We had to keep boiling our water. And even after those boil advisories had ended, I drink a lot of coffee in the morning. I drink a pot of coffee, and I use tap water. Well, I had been using tap water. I started developing these horrible stomach aches, and I can't say it's related. I'm simply saying I developed them, and I drink very little besides actually coffee and milk. So, and I don't eat very much, so I'm not sure. But I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just switch over to spring water because I do drink a lot of coffee every morning, and that's when my stomach bothers me. Within the past 3 months, I've done exactly that, spent extra money to bring water into my home, although I still pay for, the American Water Company to supply my other water for my showers and my toilet, which is about all it's worth. And, I ended up feeling better, and I feel better here today, and I felt better for the past couple of months. So, perception is reality, and you see dirty water, maybe you mentally just make yourself sick, I don't know. But our water has never been good here in Scranton, and I don't think there's been many improvements. And, this is just what I wrote, basically. I always feel underrepresented in these things, and I'm not sure the participants here today, the government officials, the PAWC, the other agencies, and many of the people who even spoken, and especially small business owners, which are the backbone of the state. But I don't know if they represent me. I'm not a senior citizen. I'm not retired, and although I don't earn very much money at all, I don't consider myself low-income dependent class. I'm working class, and I'm actually proud of that fact. that maybe I do qualify for many of these supposed programs that you continue to offer that obviously come on the backs of taxpayers and ratepayers. And I refuse to use those services, even though I do qualify for many of them. And I find that, to me, that's like a source of pride, and that's why I bring that up. And there's a lot of people in my situation in this city and in this area that don't take these benefits. So it's not normal that I make emotional appeals, but it seems that's all people listen to anymore. There was wonderful points brought up here today, and so I don't need to necessarily put numbers into it, nor did I really research this well. All I know, my bills are really high, and I know my water quality is really lousy. I think that's more than enough to consider suspending any rate increases until they rectify those issues. And if they do have good water, then do the testing and prove it to us. I believe they are coming around and going to be changing water lines. I know they're trying to get into our homes to see what our water service is provided for. That's terrifying to think that some of us still have lead pipes. That's terrifying to think that the infrastructure has been neglected for so long, and there's no way PAWC walked into this not knowing that. I mean, Scranton's famous for neglecting everything. Government's famous for it. That's why everything collapses, and it's always the excuse, well, lack of maintenance. This is what they do. So, you know, I understand they have a lot of expenses, but they knew that coming into this, and with big profits, perhaps they are going to have to consider that. And I'll look at these people. I'll look at you. I'll look at the representative. I'll tell you what you're telling me. You're telling me as a ratepayer, suck it up. Well, I'm telling you, suck it up. You afford it this time. You take the hit this time, because I'm not doing that. I don't have that ability like you have. I can't pass along these expenses to other people. It's unattainable, and yet you guys can do that continually, and that's how you always do this. Bring any outside agency into this area, and the first thing you're going to do is tell you to raise the taxes. Look at the state representatives that spoke here today. Some of them have been serving several years. Where are they now? They felt it important enough to be seen here to make their sound bites, and then they leave. They didn't think it was relevant to stick here and listen to all the citizens of the state. After all, several of them were state representatives. They're going to vote for us on the state level, whether we're in their district or not. They're not here. It wasn't important to them. Their representatives even left. They'll probably show up again tonight, end up on television again. But we're in this situation because the big agencies, the big organizations, and big government have screwed every one of us and continually come to us because they can put their boot on the throats of the American people. And that's what they do continually. It's like perfect for a coal mining region. They keep digging the hole. They took the diamonds. They took the coal. Now they're back for the slate. It's like a bottomless pit to them, and they don't care if they undermine a river. It's unbelievable. You know, something was mentioned earlier tonight, and I hope you can expand on it because it was brought up. You had said something about if we were to reduce our consumption, which is something I do, and obviously a ton of people have no choice, we may still be penalized if the savings were too substantial. Is that what was, because I want that addressed or explained better if possible, because I remember they had a weather normalization adjustment, I believe it was called.
We're actually at time, so we need to wrap up.
Well, just to make a quick point, you know, UGI did something similar with rates. They were doing adjustments based on temperatures dropping and loss of sales. I don't know how that turned out, and I don't know what they were proposing, but I'd be curious to know a little bit more about that and how we get penalized by saving. It seemed odd to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your testimony. Is there anybody in the room who's signed up that we didn't call on? Would you like to come forward? It's okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Lisa Durkin, Durkin, 28 Archibald Street, Carbondale, Pennsylvania, 18407.
Are you employed, and if so, by whom?
I am by United Neighborhood Centers.
Are you Pennsylvania American Water or Wastewater Company?
I am water.
Water customer?
Yes.
Thank you. Are you appearing on behalf of yourself or on behalf of a group?
I'm here on behalf of United Neighborhood Centers, where I serve as the president and CEO.
Thank you. What would you like to tell us?
United Neighborhood Centers is one of the largest and longest operating social service agencies in the region, delivering programs and services in this community for more than 100 years. Each day, we see the effects of the escalated cost of living on the most vulnerable members of our community. I'm here to express our concern about the proposed rate increase, and we urge the Commission to reconsider this proposed increase and explore alternative solutions that do not create additional burdens on the most vulnerable members. Last year, UNC served over 10,000 families in this community. Many of these families were assisted with their basic needs: food, clothing, housing, and utility assistance. The need is at an all-time high. In 2023, our services increased 63% for emergency food relief alone. We provided housing and utility counseling and assistance to 3,600 families. We provided utility financial assistance to over 350 families, and there are still unmet needs. A water rate increase would add yet another financial shock to low and moderate income families and could push even more families to the brink of poverty. In Scranton alone, with a 20% poverty rate and rapidly increasing rents, the result would be detrimental to the entire community. A rate increase may lead to some families cut back on their water consumption, potentially jeopardizing their health and hygiene. The critical service need will undoubtedly increase, and the responsibility of relief will undoubtedly fall on local government and social service agencies to rectify. Again, we urge you to reconsider a rate increase in light of the significant challenges already faced by low and moderate income residents, and to look into alternative solutions to maintaining affordability. Access to clean and affordable water is crucial to the health and well-being of our community, and perhaps never more so than right on the end of a global pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Is there anybody else present who signed up that we haven't called on? Okay, we'd like to thank everyone for their attendance and participation in this afternoon public input hearing, and the hearing is adjourned.